104.9 XFM. You all right? This is Karl, producer of Ricky Gervais and Steve Merchant. They're not about today. Ricky's on holiday. Steve couldn't be bothered. So I'm left here with all the DATs. That's a digital audio tape of all the shows they've done since they've been here over the last, I don't know, year and a half or something. So we'll play you some of the best bits. All right, so here's the first bit.
I just wish we could maybe tape the bits we're not on air, just because that's when Karl comes into his own.
Yeah.
He just said to me, I don't know what I was doing, I was sort of like pottering around, dancing around, doing something annoying probably, and he just looked at me, I don't know, and he was looking at me, and I looked back, and he went, have you ever used a Y-front properly?
Genius.
It's a great question, because the answer is definitely no.
Definitely no.
Does anyone use their Y-front properly? And by that, I mean, get your winky out of the little sort of slot provided, as opposed to like put it to one side or pull them down or whatever. Has anyone used a Y-front properly?
I don't think I've ever done it.
I don't think I've ever done it.
I've never seen anyone in a toilet doing it, Rick.
You should be looking.
I wish I hadn't said that.
I caught you. Really?
Yeah. That's actually how you prove people are gay.
Yeah.
You get them into this conversation.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a trap.
Yeah, it's a trap.
It was the trap.
Yeah. I'm not gay, by the way.
Yeah.
You didn't prove I was gay. I double bluffed you.
Yeah.
Because I knew the old gay trick.
I thought it was the old gay lord say no thing.
That is another method. Yeah, there's innumerable methods of doing it.
That's how Oscar Wilde was caught.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What happened there?
Well, the judge went to him, did you see that film last night? Gaylord Say No, and he went no, and they went take him away.
Yeah. Take him down to the cells.
Yeah, take him to Reading.
It is true.
Well,
it originated in America.
Yeah.
So many of these things do. It's a brilliant point, Karl. I'd like to hear from anyone listening who's, and I mean, well, they'll just lie, wouldn't they, I suppose?
Yeah. I don't even use sort of flies.
No?
Usually. I sort of pull my Y-front, my sort of tracksuit. That's why I wear sort of like elasticated waistbands all the time.
Exactly.
Just sort
Speed.
of like... Yeah.
You got to get in there with the minimum of effort.
Yeah, and out.
Sure.
Often I won't shake.
No, well, no.
To my detriment, because it often leaks out a little bit later, doesn't it?
Ever been out on a date with a girl where it's just trickled down your leg and you wish it hadn't, and you're thinking, what if she gets my trousers off later? She might smell or see it.
What? Like what?
I don't know. I don't know what I said there.
Right.
Rick, I had for Christmas something which I think might excite you and interest you, because I know you're obsessed and interested by facts.
Yeah.
Don't fiddle with the microphone.
Well, I was just looking at what it was underneath it.
So this is a book, it's just facts and trivia. It's edited by Sir Isaac Asimov, who I think's dead. So I don't know when my parents bought this book. I assume it's sort of from a second-hand shop or something.
Right.
It's quite long, but I got it for Christmas. I keep meaning to bring it in, because generally the facts are quite sensible in here. And I like to think if Isaac's been involved, they're probably substantiated. It's not like kind of just this nonsense on the web. I think that this is probably...
Or up in Greg's the Baker's that Karl gets most of his facts from.
The ancient Egyptians trained baboons to wait on tables. Karl, fascinated.
Brilliant.
That's fantastic.
But what my point about that is, why did they stop?
Yeah.
It's a genius idea.
Would
you not want to go to a restaurant where they had baboons serving?
No, I'll tell you what happened. It might have been like the Planet of the Apes, and they sort of rebelled. One of them could talk. One of them could take his order. And one day went, do you want fries with that? And the bloke got really annoyed and said to answer him back. And then there was some sort of rebellion.
Right.
The Planet of the Apes isn't true, is it?
It's not a documentary.
Right, okay.
I wonder, because what I like the idea of having baboons is the fact that I reckon they're... Like, I have difficulty, and I'm sure you do, Karl, like working out that sort of 10%, on a bill.
Yeah.
I reckon baboons would find that particularly hard. I reckon you could get away with under-tipping them all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
Just not leaving enough and just legging it. Exactly.
They go away and you go, sucker.
Yeah, exactly. So I'd love to see some baboon restaurants. If there's any restaurateurs out there, so Terence Conrad or someone.
If you do go to a restaurant and you've been waiting on those, please don't order the banana daiquiri, because it comes half-eaten. They can't help their little selves. They really can't. They're okay with, like, beef and steak and chips and all that. But there's a little bag. I go, do you... Can
you imagine that? The baboons serving at waiting tables. It's genius. Just stop to think about that. It's absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
It's absolutely dynamite.
Yeah.
See, zoos would be a lot more popular if there was like the canteen and you could go...
If they were serving tickets to two? Exactly. One child, okay, go through there.
I think they should do other things, like in the Flintstones, they used to mix cement in that bird's kind of
pelican. Yeah.
We should start doing that again. Because that also happened in ancient times.
Yeah, exactly.
According to the Flintstones.
Yeah, before they had proper cement mixers, that's what they did.
That was how they did it.
Definitely.
Just animal facts. I remembered one in the week.
Go on.
There was, do you know them two gay American men who have tigers?
Okay, the two gay ones,
Those
yeah,
are
go
the
on.
two
possibly gay
Yeah, let's not worry about libel law anymore then. Yeah,
if you
go on.
shave a tiger's head...
Whoa. Right, okay. You've got to treat that sentence with a lot more reverence than you did. Think what you're saying. If you shave a tiger's head...
Not just its head, its whole body.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, yeah.
So I thought you were getting weird. Go on then, yeah. If you shave a tiger, yeah, go on.
It's still stripy underneath. The skin's...
Is it like rock?
It goes all the way through.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
Where did you hear that one?
I remembered that. Like, was
that a drunk just shouting it in the street?
I shaved a tiger and it's still stripy. Get out of here. Yeah. Well, you know a polar bear? Polar bear's skin is actually black, and its fur is transparent, not white, and it gives the illusion. So it gets all the radiation possible from the sun, but it's still camouflaged.
I didn't understand that, Rick. Sorry, you lost me. If its skin's black,
a polar bear's skin is black,
and its fur is translucent,
and its fur is translucent.
So why is it white when we see
Well, it's just because the light hits it and
the sun reflects on it?
Yeah, and it makes it look white. Yeah, so if you look at each individual hair, it's actually translucent.
So at night it would be black?
Well, everything is.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, not bright stuff, Rick. You've embarrassed yourself. Play a record.
XFM 104.9. Lovely, that one. Now, again, I broke the rules in the week. I met up with Karl. I had lunch with him. And we were chatting and having a cup of tea. And it got onto one of Karl's favourite programmes, was the Tales of the Unexpected.
Ah, of course.
And all I can think is that he's probably the only person in Britain where they were unexpected. I mean, to him, when that twist came in, you go, gee, I can't...
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Can't believe
So it was the tree that did it. I mean, he was probably the only... And we were telling all these stories of horror, and he liked horror stories. And I told him this story. And I don't know if this will come across in the way, but I told him this story. It was a short. It was a horror short.
This was a film you saw, was it?
Yeah. And what it was, it started off, just there'd been a car crash. You see this horrendous wreck. And you saw it from the point of view of the person in the car. And he was calling for his mate, and he was going, Dave... And he sort of looked over and saw a body without a head that had been thrown. He goes, oh no, Dave. And then into the field of view came Dave, his mate, and looked at him with a look of horror. And then it sort of went black, and you realised that he was just a head, and it had been his body.
Oh, wow.
Right?
Yeah.
And I said, then it came up at the end, at the executions in the French Revolution, people experience consciousness for, and he went, oh, no, he said, it wouldn't be for that long. And then he went, if it was a chicken, it would work. Imagine remaking that film, but it's two chickens in horrendous car crash.
Their own fault for driving.
It would work. No, he wasn't having that.
Yeah.
No, it was too long. I think he said, how long was this film? I went, about 5 minutes. He went, no. It would work if it was a chicken.
I like the way that Karl is something like, when you relate an incident like that, he's appalled and offended and annoyed by the people that made it, even though he's never seen it.
Oh, he's annoyed, yeah.
Do you have a favourite Tales of the Unexpected, one that you remember particularly that shook you up?
Yeah, we were talking about the one on where there's some woman in prison. Have you seen that one?
I can't remember them all.
Right. This woman's in prison.
Yeah.
And she gets a bit friendly with the guy who takes the dead bodies out.
Right.
And he said, I can get you out of here. He said, what you've got to do, right? You've got to, at midnight...
When you hear the bell toll, that means there's been a dead body.
Yeah, there's been a dead body. So what you've got to do is go into, like, the place where all the dead bodies are, get in the first coffin on the right, and then I'll come along and carry you out, and you can run away and escape, right? So she goes, yeah, all right then. So she hears the bell go.
I'll bury you, right? And then I'll come back later and dig you up.
Right.
Yeah, but
that's the point.
It doesn't matter.
It does matter. Trust me, Karl, it really matters.
Okay.
Listen, I don't know if I'm going to ruin this for people at home.
Yeah.
Can I just skip to the end? I would imagine that she gets buried and he doesn't come back, and she has to get buried alive.
Better than that. So she gets in the coffin, and she's lying there for ages.
She's buried.
She can feel a bit of movement going on, so she's obviously, being carried somewhere, so she's thinking, this is it, I'm getting out. And she's lying there for ages and thinking, why ain't someone coming and lifting the lid off this? Do you know what I mean? Letting me get out. So she's really bored. She gets a lighter out, right? Lights it to have a look at who she's lying on. It's only the fella who said he'd help escape.
Oh.
How bad is that?
That is... How bad is that?
So it is quite important that she's buried alive then, isn't it? In retrospect, you realise that the jeopardy is that she's buried alive and can't get out.
Yeah.
It makes it so much worse, doesn't it, than just like lying in the morgue and going, actually, I'm getting out of here.
Yeah.
This isn't going to work.
Look at Karl's face. Having told that, he's so pleased. His face is lit up. He's beaming like a child.
Have you seen any?
Is that your favourite horror thing ever?
What was that one you told me about with the porn? That was a good one.
Oh, this was fantastic, right? Right. There was this.
Sorry, can I just check now? We're just remembering classic episodes of the Tales Unexpected.
No, this is important. Well, I saw one, right? I saw one on Tales Unexpected, right? And it was these two gents. What they used to do, they look down the obituaries and they'd blackmail the wife or the son of a dead eminent person, like it might be a priest or a doctor, something like that. And they'd go and they'd say, he bought some erotic stuff from us before he died, and he owes 100 guineas and all this sort of stuff, and they'd pay up because it'd be so embarrassing. They just didn't want them, so they'd just pay him, right? And this one bloke said, who are these people? I'll meet with them. And he goes round there, and he goes round, and they go, your father. He goes, my father could not have bought any erotic material from you. They did it. He goes, he couldn't have. He's blind. Right, and that was the twist. And Karl went, so it was magazines, not videos then.
Yeah. Now think about it, Steve. Is that so stupid?
Well, presumably it was set in olden times because people, professional pornographers don't tend to call it, erotic material.
Yeah.
They tend to call it, juicy jugs or whatever. But more than that, I don't understand how a video is going to be any use to a blind person either. I know that you can hear the sound, Karl. Look at him nodding like he's caught me out.
Yeah, what sound will you hear? Do. Your meter needs looking at? Yes. Cut. What's then? What's that? Then it's just noises, isn't
occasional groans.
Yeah.
Right.
You could listen through the wall at your neighbours.
He does.
I mean, that's why I save a lot of money. But I thought you were going to point out, Karl, that they could have had a Braille porno. Now, have you thought of that?
Look, feel the lumps on that.
Exactly. Think about it, Karl.
Think about it.
You're excited now.
Yeah.
Your girlfriend's away, Karl.
Yeah, the cheese grate has only entered the cupboard.
No, she's a good-looking lady.
104.9 XFM, hello. I'm Karl. Ricky Gervais and Steve aren't here. So we're playing through some of the best bits. I say the best bits. It's the bits I came across first. I mean, I'm not wasting my time. I'm a busy man, you know what I mean? So here's another bit.
What do you make of the first genetically modified baby?
Oh.
Are you worried about this?
Do you know what did they do? What?
Let me see what it says here.
Isn't it just choosing the eye colour?
Well, this is the concern, isn't it? That in the future you'll be able to decide whether it's a boy or a girl, how intelligent it is, what it looks like, is it handsome, is it ugly? Obviously, no one will choose an ugly baby, and so on and so on and so on. And so it means that where will it lead? Where will it end, Karl? Are you concerned?
I've thought about this a lot.
What will us three look like in the future if they're being, genetically modified beautiful people? What will we be like? How will we be considered in society?
True, yeah. But we've talked about this before, haven't we? About the cloning thing.
Yeah,
that's a bit weird. Yeah. But I don't think it matters because at the end of the day, right, you might look like some other kid, but it's the way you're brought up that will change your features and the way you are, your personality.
If you lie, you get a long nose, don't you?
Well, no, but listen, right, because I remember when we, I was growing up on this estate.
This is going to be good. Go on.
No, it's not. It's just an example of how this doesn't work.
Go on.
So we don't need to worry, sort of thing.
Sure.
Right?
Okay.
So I'm growing up on this estate, and there was this woman about 4 houses down, right, who's a bit rough. All right.
Didn't fancy her.
Oh God, no. Right, but she had a baby.
Well, tell me about her first. I'm interested in this woman. What was she?
It was a very...
She looked like a bit of a man in a dress.
I mean, I didn't grow up in a posh house or anything. And I'm not saying that if you live in a bit of a rough house, you're a bad person.
What does she look like?
But anyone can
tattoos?
Clean up.
Look like Tony Green with a fag on.
They didn't clean up much, right?
Oh.
Which, even if you've not got a lot of money, you can still try and make a place look nice.
Yeah.
Right? But she didn't. And a kid used to take a horse into the house.
Sorry.
Whoa,
Whoa, Neddy. What do you mean a kid used to take a horse into the house? Where did he get a horse?
Must have nicked it from somewhere. Must have done.
You've seen a horse in it? No.
What, is that from outside the saloon round the corner?
Yeah, was it just tied up with a bit of leather?
Right? And,
oh, that's great. Did Big Jake come looking for it?
I'd been out.
Oh. No, sorry, let me get this. This was before the lynching stopped or after.
Where did he get a horse from? What do you mean he must have nicked it? His mum said, where'd you get that from? I bought it. All right then, but keep it out of the kitchen.
I don't want you going cattling rustling.
Where did he get a horse from, Carl? And how long did he have it for? Was he leading it or riding it? Mum, open the door, I can't stop.
I can't stop it. Open the patio door as well.
Looks like we got us a runaway. What do you mean?
I don't know, but the thing is they couldn't afford to buy one because they're not cheap. So I'm just guessing. Maybe that's wrong of me. But I think...
He had a horse?
Yeah, right. So
that's why the family didn't have any money. They'd spend it on the horse.
No, I don't think, that's what I'm saying. I don't think they would have bought it. So anyway...
Yeah, it's wise to whisper, Carl, in case they're listening.
Yeah. And
they could be in the room next door.
It's not buying it, it's keeping it as well. Oh.
So I was like in the car with my dad coming into the avenue, and you used to have to drive down it to turn round. And, and you know, sort of go back to our house.
You had the traditional method of transport. Yeah.
And the horse was in the lounge.
Reading a paper.
Just like walking around.
Oh God! What?
And when I was doing, I tried to earn myself some money once by flogging little flowers in plastic cups.
What? This is genius. It just keeps coming. What do you mean you're trying to flog little flowers? What do you mean?
Wait. Let's play a record. Let's play a record and come back to this.
Wait a minute.
It's going to just unravel and unravel. It's going to go for hours. Let's play a track,
deeper and deeper. It's like an onion, isn't it?
We've created a whole world here where there's a man living with a horse.
Just walking around the lounge.
I come from the West Country. I've never heard anything like that.
I just think of a big sort of like orange carpet and it's got a rediffusion telly and this horse going, I'm fed up in here.
Exactly.
This is really...
I am not taking the rubbish out again.
Yeah.
Right, play a record. Let's have Velvet Underground. We've got that lined up.
Oh,
yeah, the
God.
classic from the first album. I'm Waiting for the Man. Let's come back to the horse in a second.
Little flowers in pots. What do you mean?
From that classic first album, Velvet Underground and Nico, which apparently peaked at a disappointing 171 in the US charts.
Think of that.
And that's obviously Lou Reed, the Velvet Underground, and Waiting for the Man.
Yeah, great track. So we were talking, we were doing White Van Man, and we got onto...
genetically modified babies, but
and
somehow...
then Karl started telling a story about someone with a horse, and then he got onto... He was trying to make money selling flowers. Just do the flowers briefly.
Well, hang on, I just want to recap slightly. So there was a family, and who had the horse in the family?
It was...
Because you lived on an estate in Manchester.
So the mother was a right pig, apparently. Well, I don't know if that's relevant.
You don't need to go that far.
But
what I'm trying to do is like make a picture for you so you understand.
What does she look like? Who did she look like?
Bit of a, and no disrespect to her, bit like Pauline Quirk.
Quirky, yeah.
Right?
Okay, I knew you were going to say that. Yeah. I knew it was going to be Pauline. Did she have any tats?
I've never got that close to it.
Okay, all right.
So who had the horse? Was this her son or her husband?
No, her daughter.
Her daughter had stolen a horse?
Yeah, from, I don't know where. I think there was some stables down the road or something.
And they kept the horse in the house with them?
They kept it in the house.
Did they
didn't
get
have
caught?
it for long.
No.
Sorry, and you said you were in the house one day and you saw the horse in there?
What happened was, I was, they did this thing at school about raising money for charity, right? For some local charity. And they said you can do anything to raise money, and they came out with all these ideas, and I thought, that's good.
What was the charity?
Well, I don't know. I thought, forget the charity.
Yeah, that's just a good money making idea. So you're a charity.
So, so I asked my mum for some, because she used to have a lot of flowers around the house.
Sure.
I said, can I just take some snippings off them, and I'll go and buy some plastic cups, and got some soil out of the garden, planted the bits of plants in them.
Yeah.
Got a tray.
Yeah.
Had about 25 plants on it, selling them for 25 pence each.
Excellent. Did you sell any?
Yeah, sold loads.
Did you just cut? You didn't just cut them and stick them in the soil?
Yeah, they wouldn't have survived.
Oh.
But I think people sort of thought, well, good on him for trying. But anyway, so I went round to theirs because I thought their house could do with a bit of colour and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's a bit rough. So as I went...
The horse went, thank God for that breakfast. They've been feeding me kitty cat.
So I got up to the door and they opened the door and it was one of them houses where no carpet.
Yeah, a horse in the living room.
You know.
We've all been there.
And the horse was walking around the living room. I looked quite happy and everything because I always say that about animals.
Black Beauty was on. Yeah.
Well, think about it, right? If you were a horse, where would you rather be? In a little wooden hut with a load of hay, or in like a house with a
Central heating.
3-piece suite and a telly and that?
Telling you that.
No, but I was saying this the other day,
And an Atari.
right? I was walking through London. the
Commodore
other day.
64,
Yeah.
rubbish.
Exactly.
Walking through London with Suzanne, right?
Yeah.
And you know, like homeless people always have dogs. And
Yeah.
she said, "Oh, I hope she looks after it." I said, "They've got that dog is happier than most dogs,
Right.
Because people always walk past and give it a pat on the head.
Yeah.
It's with its owner all the time.
Yeah.
It's out in the open. It's not locked up in a house.
Yeah.
It doesn't
You know what I
eat,
mean?
but other than that...
No, it does eat though. They're always all right. So that's what I was saying. I think this horse was doing all right for itself. Do you know what I mean?
Well, not many horses have got their own house.
Exactly.
For a start, yeah.
But anyway, that's
That's
what
by
we were
the
talking
by.
about. Yeah. So anyway, this family, who's a bit. What were we talking about? It was about cloning.
Genetically modified kids and all that stuff, yeah.
Right. Now, what I'm saying is, you could say, right, Steve, you could have a baby, right? And Ricky could see it and say, God, I want one that looks like that.
Yeah.
Right?
It could happen, Rick.
So
Come on, work with him.
So you take it to the doctors, and I don't know what they do. They inject it with something or whatever.
Yep, that's how it's done.
Yeah.
And get a little baby, and there it is. It looks the same. Now the thing is, you separate. You both go off and do your own things.
Yep.
Right. Now, you look at Stephen. You look after your baby.
Yeah.
You treat it well. You give it good food and
I'm a
that,
good dad.
all the vitamins and stuff.
Yeah.
Ricky just gives it cheese. Right. So then it changes its looks. It goes a bit fat. It gets tired easily and that sort of thing. Now, when this family,
Why am I just feeding a baby cheese?
right? This family who had a horse in their house.
Yeah.
They had a little baby, and my man went round and said, "You're not going to believe this, but it's a beautiful looking baby," right?
Yeah.
And I was like, well, And the weird thing is, it was a good-looking kid, but as time went on, they didn't really look after it. And I'm not saying like abusing it, but it used to run around. It used to play out till like 10 at night.
Yeah.
It used to chase cars.
Right.
It was a bit.
Did it have hooves?
Yeah, no. Chase cars.
Right.
What sort of kid chases cars? Oh God!
No.
Was it called Rover? Did it catch sticks?
It's Liam, it was called, right?
Right.
Now, the weird thing is, it was a good-looking kid, but as time went on, and all that, like, not eating properly, and its hair was all patchy.
It's not Liam Gallagher, is it?
And chasing cars and that, and it became an ugly kid.
It's definitely Liam Gallagher.
And that's what I'm saying, right? You can clone all you like, but at the end of the day, it's how you brought up.
Brilliant.
Wow. Life.
Wow.
That was a hell of a point.
Oh God.
But am I right?
Oh, you're always right, Carl.
All right, this is Karl, the producer of Ricky Gervais and Stephen Merchant on XFM 104.9. We're playing out some of the best bits. Hope you're enjoying it. Here's another one.
And now it's Carl's bit. It's the re-education of Karl. He's like Liza Doolittle. And now he's coming to, or Lawnmower Man, if you've seen that film. More like Lawnmower Man, if you've seen the film. You know what I mean. And his homework was to just study quotes, really, on happiness and stuff and general well-being. He's not a big happiness quote fan, are you, Karl?
Not really.
So what have you done? You've come up with something, haven't you?
Right, yeah, I told you, right? Because a lot of these are just things you say every day. They're nothing special. So what I'm doing...
Well, you say them every day.
Well, the sort of things you come out with and you don't even think about it, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're on the TV all the time. People on the radio are saying these sort of little quotes.
Sure.
And what I've done is, remember that programme on Channel 4, Faking It?
Yeah.
Where they got some, like, posh kid to be on a door and all that. What I've done, I've...
Imagine if that was the pitch for the show. Dear Channel 4, you're just going to get a posh kid on a door or something?
Yeah,
Yours
come
sincerely,
in,
Karl.
come in. Yeah.
TV producer.
Yeah, go on.
So what I've done, this little book of quotes, happiness quotes, I've picked two that are real,
Okay.
and I've made one up, right?
And we've got a guess.
And you've got to guess.
Okay, then, go on.
Well, I'll tell you what, Rick, why don't we, when we've heard them, we won't confer.
No.
You'll write down yours,
Yeah.
A, B, or C, and I'll write down mine, and we'll
Sure.
see how it
Okay,
works.
Karl, off you go.
Right, and just because I'm looking at this book, it doesn't mean I'm actually reading.
No, I know.
Don't
no,
worry,
I know.
we're clever.
No, we know, we
man.
can't see.
It's not like call my bluff.
Yeah, go on
Okay.
then.
Nothing is worth more than this day.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah?
All right.
yeah.
The way I see it,
Oh God, my head's gonna burst.
No, hang on.
My head's gonna burst.
No,
Hang on.
this might not be Karl's.
Oh, it might not be.
How do you know I haven't tweaked them a little bit?
Yeah, good
Okay,
point.
fair
Good
enough.
point. No, good point.
The way I see it, if you want the rainbow, you got to put up with the rain.
Yeah, okay.
All right.
All right, yeah.
Okay. Hang on. It's not here.
Come on.
Cat food.
Cat food, come on.
It stinks a bit, but if you don't put up with the smell, the little kitten will die.
Steve, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. Imagine this in faking it. Imagine their faces when he says that, and they're going, "Oh my God." Karl, play a song, mate.
We'll have to confer on this one.
Right, Blair. Well, that's just amazing, Karl. Just read them again. Two were real, one was fake. Go on in.
Right. First one. Nothing is worth more than this day.
Excellent. Next one.
What does that mean?
Well, cherish now, cherish your time.
Okay.
Because you can't get it back, and
Yeah,
you know
that's the way I saw it.
Carpe diem, whatever it is, seize the day and all that.
Okay. If you want the rainbow, you've got to put up with the rain.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, rough with the smooth. You know, it's not all plain sailing, but you know, rainbow's beautiful, but it comes because of the rain, which you might not like. So
Yeah.
make the most of everything, and
Yeah.
good.
Cat food doesn't smell good, but if you don't put up with it, then the little kitten will die.
Right, no, Karl, that is a good effort. Now that one's yours. I mean, obviously, right?
Right.
Right. No, but it's a good effort, right?
I mean, it slipped seamlessly into the others.
Yeah.
Don't think it didn't.
No, but it's good. I mean, we knew it. We knew it was that one. But what I will say is, it's good. But what you don't know, maybe subconsciously, is, I mean, it's very similar to the putting up with the rain and the rainbow. But that's good.
Why do you think that?
Well,
What does mine mean?
well, even though it smells bad, it's good for something.
Right.
So
See,
that's
I didn't look at it like that.
What do you look at?
I kind of thought.
Was yours more specifically about cat food, generally? Because normally they it's an analogy.
Yeah, or a metaphor for something, much bigger.
Well, no, the way
I mean,
looked at it-
Dolly Parton, who I think did the rainbow rain thing, she wasn't specifically concerned about weather conditions.
No.
It was a sort of general idea.
It's all about life.
Yeah. Well,
Existence.
that's what I've done.
Go on,
I've
what-
used an everyday thing
Yeah.
and put it with today's problems, right?
Go on.
So, my girlfriend, yeah, she might like to go shopping for clothes. I hate it,
Right.
but because I love her, I put up with it.
Ah, that's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you love that little kitten. You can't stand the smell of the stuff you got to feed it, but because you love it, you go, well, I'll put up with this just for a few minutes, and then I can squeeze its head later and give it a little.
Sorry.
Squeeze its little head.
Yeah, well, that's just the thing that I do with cats.
Put it in a bag and drown it in a lake.
I can feed it and then I can throw it against the wall.
exactly.
So you didn't see it like that, did you?
No, that's very good. So it's about love, is it? It's about putting up with the bad things
Yeah.
for something you love.
Yeah.
Well, that's nice.
But
That's very
Karl,
good.
you seem now to be convinced and rather smug that you've tricked us and that you've fooled us and that we didn't understand it.
Well,
But
then-
I say that's your fault, not ours.
No, it's not though. I mean, look, that man in Forrest Gump, he was a bit of a nutter. And he came up with the life as a box of chocolates thing.
Yeah.
Now, if that was in this book, you say, oh yeah, brilliant, good bit of work. But if he was sat here doing the show with you,
Yeah.
you'd be taking the mickey out of him.
Sometimes I feel he is.
No, but Karl, I could. In fact, if people are out there, we're too lazy. Could you write down everything Karl's ever said? Because I think we could publish that.
Yeah.
He said one today. He saw my salamander. It's not a euphemism. He saw my salamander, and it's just sitting there in the tank.
Your exotic pet.
Yeah, and he's worried about there not being a lid on. And he said, I went, what were you worried about? He said, wow. He said it sits there for 24 hours a day, obviously planning to get out.
Well, he's got nothing else on its mind, and it's the daft thing is he has actually got the lid ripped up a little bit. And he'll be looking up there, and
Yeah.
it's going to get out.
But what's the worst that could happen?
What's it thinking? What do you think it's thinking, this salamander?
It's got its eye on the DVD player. I can have Ian be down the market.
Class. Rock the
I
Casbah.
love the fact you had at least 3 minutes to get that right.
I know.
Prepare and get that right.
I know, but my mouth was full of Maryland cookies. Yeah. You know, last week, and this would blow your mind. He came in, do you know what he'd bought? For himself, about 10 penguins. Who buys penguins still?
I know. Or wagon wheels.
Oh, I've never liked wagon wheels.
You not been a fan?
No, but I was sorry about that. It's The Clash and Rock the Casbah. Talking about records, have I told you that time my brother-in-law, he was moving out of his place, I think moving in with my sister, and I was about like, I don't know, 13, and so he was about, 30, and I moved in, and he brought round all his records when he was storage to leave them at our house, right? And he had all these old sort of records, 50s and 60s records, no, I was right, and they put them upstairs, and I was looking through them, and it's just all like Elvis stuff and Beatles stuff. And there was a mate of mine who loved Elvis, okay? And he had loads of chemicals. Yeah, he had loads of chemicals, and I was into chemistry. And he said, "Let's swap me some chemicals for them." So I sort of nicked about 5 Elvis singles, and I got all these chemicals. And then the guilt just hit me. I just thought, well, he's going to notice that. And one night, I just came downstairs, and I confessed to my mum. And she went, "All right, well, I won't tell him, but you've got to be good." And it's sort of like I was just really, really good for a year. And then I remember when I was about 18, my brother was talking about it, and he said, "Did you ever play those records I left for you?"
Brilliant.
He told my mum, he said, "These are for Ricky." She just didn't tell me.
She was sharp, wasn't she?
She used opportunism there.
Oh, that's genius.
And that was it. That's why I was good.
But you've never stolen anything since, have you?
No, I don't.
Except that spate of shoplifting after that to teach your mum a lesson.
yeah. Well, I went round and arson. No, I did. I just couldn't believe it. It was terrible.
I remember. I think all kids go through a phase of shoplifting.
Well,
and when I was going through it, I used to just little things, just like magic markers and magazines, Mars bars, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And one day, right, my mate Anthony, his mum called up my mum and said, I've got to meet up with you. I've got to have a word with you. And she said, "What about?" She said, "I don't want to talk about it over the phone." So she goes, "Oh, right. Well, yeah, come round tonight then." So anyway, my mum sees me. She don't want to be in an awkward position and like be a bit embarrassed and what have you. So she sees me and she goes, "Right, Anthony's mum's coming round. What have you been doing?"
yeah.
So I go, "Oh God." I said, I've been nicking stuff. So she goes, "Like what?" So not big stuff. I've had a few calculators and Mars bars and stuff.
How many? I'll just work it out. Hold on. Works out at 7.2 per day.
So
How many calculators do you need?
So anyway, so it was when that phase.
You failed maths, didn't you?
Everyone wanted a calculator. It was like a trendy thing, wasn't it?
Right. Oh yeah.
In Manchester a couple of years ago, yeah.
So anyway, so I told her all this and I confessed to
Computers will make it there one day.
I confessed to
There's magic in the back of battery. Go on.
confessed to nicking all this stuff. She comes round. She only wanted to borrow some money.
Brilliant.
She said, "Oh, I don't like asking. I was a bit embarrassed to ask you over the phone, but can I borrow 20 quid?"
Oh, that's fantastic.
And there's me. Bloody,
That's great.
and it's similar sort of thing to yours.
And did you?
And he went, "Hold on, Mum, let me work out the interest on that. I banked 10%. She'll owe you £4.40. Yeah. Oh, dear.
So your mum was a loan shark.
yeah.
And did she mention
She
that
went,
you'd been nicking stuff with that other? Because what I'm saying is, presumably you got your mate in trouble.
No.
Right, you didn't.
That's great.
Anyway, should we have some more music? Because
Yeah,
we've
go
been
on.
waiting for hours.
What are you going to play, Carl?
We've got the Cooper Temple Clause
Oh,
lined up.
brilliant. Cooper Temple Clause. Who needs enemies? Good question, lads. Nobody. 6FM 104.9. I'm Ricky Gervais.
Oh, they should print a little book of those. They're great. Oh, how you can relate any song or artist to anything else.
Easy.
Joyful.
Easy. Well, yeah, so me and Karl went out for a beer, and it was great, wasn't it?
Yeah,
We
enjoyed myself.
started
Yeah,
off,
it's good.
and you met my mate Robin, didn't you?
Yeah.
And some of the stories. Do you want to tell Steve some things about Robin that you've
Robin,
done?
do you know him well?
Yes.
Well, do you know about his worm problem as a kid?
Go on.
Right. He, what I can remember is he had worms as a kid. Not sure how you get him. He never answered me. He was getting a bit touchy about it.
Right.
This is like the second time I met him. I think he was a bit annoyed that Ricky told me about his problem.
What now? Now, straight away, you not being there, instinctively, what do you think went on with this story about worms?
My suspicion is rather like when you told a group of people that Robin had once suckled milk from a cow's udder. Did you mention that as well?
Yeah.
My suspicion is that, like the cow story, the worm story is not true.
But
And
why would he get so sort of uppity about it?
Well, imagine if that wasn't the first time he'd done it. Imagine if he did that every single time he was with somebody for the first time and Robin was just met them. He will tell that story to anyone.
But they do say there's no smoke without fire.
Robin. I also told him that the way Robin cured these worms was because the doctor told his mother, right, to hold a piece of ham or cheese near Robin's anus so the worms would come out for the food, and he believed it.
I'll tell you why, though.
I said to Robin used to sit on Spam to try and get the worms out, and he believed it.
But Steve, right, do you remember that story about 3 or 4 years ago where there was some bloke in the army? He went away to somewhere, Vietnam or whatever. He was messing about in the woods.
Messing about in the woods? Shouldn't he have been fighting?
Whatever.
Yeah.
Right, and he walked through some lake, and I think he'd cut his toe or something on something, and some worm of some sort crawled in the gash.
Yeah.
And it was in his body, and the doctor said, we've got to get this out of your body. So what they did was, they said, right, the thinnest part or something of your body that things can crawl through is on the top of your head. So they wrapped
where the skull is.
So they wrapped some bacon.
No, they didn't.
They did. That's
right.
Everyone...
So he's gone in via the toe. So what we do is, I'll tell you what, that worm's probably heading straight for the head. We'll put a bit of bacon on it. The thinnest part of the body is the skull. Of course, it's not the thinnest part of the body. It's where your brain case is, isn't it? It's the skull.
There was a reason for it. And it was like they stuck some bacon on his head. And
as ever, the vital piece of information, i.e. the reason, Karl seems to have forgotten.
Because the worm was in his body, and they said everyone likes the smell of bacon.
Including worms.
Even a Vietnamese lake worm. They love bacon.
Remember last week when I said about the little fella with the bone with no brain, and you were proved wrong?
No. We were saying it wasn't a little fella. We were saying it was a stillborn child. It wasn't a little fella.
You're changing it now. You weren't having any of it last week.
Right, hang on a minute. I'm getting confused. There was a Vietnamese snake that went inside of a soldier.
A little like maggot or some sort that you have to get out of your body because it causes problems.
Yes, and so in order to get it out of the body, they strapped bacon to his head.
Yeah.
That is great. This doctor.
And did that work?
I think so. They had a picture of him smiling.
Oh, God, what, the worm or the bloke?
The bloke.
Oh, dear.
Honestly, I hope someone knows the story. And
right.
It was about 3 years ago, I reckon.
Okay.
And, it did work.
GI bacon.
So this is why
the worm burrowed out of his head to get the bacon.
Get to the bacon.
Right. That's great.
So this is why when Robin was telling his story, I was a little bit disappointed if it wasn't true.
Right.
Because in a way,
Robin's never been to Vietnam.
No, but what do you really think that Robin? Well, as Robin said at the time, Karl, why would I sit on ham then tell Ricky Gervais? It's a very good point.
Because if he was a kid, you do daft things like that as a kid.
Right.
He is telling Ricky Gervais though.
Yeah. And then, bless him.
Okay.
And then anyway, Robin left, and I tried to chase him, but he got away. He knows that and then we had a few pints, and then Karl embarked on some of the greatest stories ever told. Can you tell the story about your dad?
Let me run it. I haven't spoke to him all week, so let me run it by him.
Okay, play records.
Because
what we got?
We've got one of Steve's.
Yeah, well, bizarrely enough, this comes from the Teachers 2 soundtrack, the soundtrack to the current TV series. There's a slight whiff of nepotism in the air.
Yeah.
Rick, would you like to explain why?
Well, that's why you're doing it. No, my girlfriend worked on it, but you were going to play this anyway, weren't you?
Well, I was actually. Bizarrely enough, I was going to play some I Am Clute, and this is from, as I say, the Teachers soundtrack. This is called To You. It's a good track. That's I Am Clute, a track called To You from the Teachers soundtrack. That's also got it's the Electric Soft Parade, the Hives, Star Sailor, Feeder, Turin Breaks, Mercury Rev on there. It's a good little collection.
Lovely. Karl, has just had confirmation. He's looking smug because someone phoned up and went, "It is true. It's a Laogai chi worm, and you wrap bacon around your head." That's all the bloke knew as well.
Yeah.
And his name was Gary.
Yeah.
So I'm not having it.
No.
And he said, see, that's why the Robin thing isn't so weird. He said, but when you said he tried it with cheese, he said I was having none of it. He's got standards. Strokes, hard to explain. Like Karl, really.
Yes. Yes.
So, Karl, concentrate.
Yeah, go on.
So, we'll leave the worm with the bacon wrapped around the head, shall we?
Well, if you're ever caught in the jungle,
Yeah. Always carry some...
bit of Danish.
Good advice. Lovely. So, would you like to start on your... to Steve, because I've heard all these.
Well, we won't do them all.
We'll start off with the Mr. Freeze. Tell Steve the story of Mr. Freeze. This is the first time he nearly died.
This is the most serious of the lot, really. So, what it was, do you know, like, don't know if your mum and dad did the same thing, but, like, they do the weekly shopping on like, a Friday.
Yeah.
So when you got to Thursday, there wouldn't be much stuff left in the cupboard. It'd just be like, you know, your Jacob's crackers and stuff like that. So when they'd been to the supermarket and they came back, I was like, you know, what's that saying? Like a pig in... You know, I loved it. It was like loads of food coming in, loads of biscuits.
What is that saying?
He nearly said pig in shit.
Right.
Is that the saying?
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, all this food comes in.
Thank God he didn't.
Otherwise he'd have been in trouble.
That's true enough.
Because he's culpable for our actions because
Exactly.
he's the producer. So technically, that twat's in charge. Go on.
Right, so anyway, so there's loads of food, and I'm like, oh yeah, look at this, and chocolate biscuits, and, you know, penguins and stuff.
Bacon.
And bacon.
Just in case, you never know.
So anyway, my mum and dad's putting the food away. Me and our kid are like, he's already grabbed something, gone back upstairs.
It's like feral children. It's like a quest for fire. And then they run upstairs. What did he just sit under the bed, gnawing at some sort of pig's trotter?
So I saw, do you remember Mr. Freeze Pops?
I do, yeah. So they're kind of like popsicles, icicles.
Yeah, but really long, like a foot long, right?
Yeah.
So I thought, I'll have one of them, so I grabbed it.
Went for the nutritious stuff first.
Absolutely.
And like my mum and dad are putting this stuff away and what have you. And I rip it open and knock it back, right? Straight away, just right back like
Swallow
that.
it straight
right
away,
down But it went down the wrong way, right? So
What's down your shirt?
So I was like, oh God, I can't breathe. And my mum and dad didn't even know what I'd ate. Do you know what I mean? I ate it so quick.
Yeah.
And I'm sort of tapping my mum on the back, going, and she's going, oh God, you know, he's choking again, because I was always choking. If it was one thing, I don't know if I've got like a small throat, but I mean, even Ricky knows I can't drink that much, can I?
Yeah.
Do you know,
or eat pebbles.
I'm not a quick drinker. I'd always, I think I'm scared of like swallowing stuff.
Yeah.
And it was like bottle tops and mint imperials and stuff. I was always choking on stuff.
Oh, jeez.
So anyway, she's going, oh God, what's he picked up on it now?
Drop it.
So-
And she hit his nose with a stick.
So I was going, I'm choking. At this point, my dad had I think he'd put his share away, you know, his food away, and he'd gone.
His share. I love it.
Yeah.
He'd gone to watch like Winner Takes All or whatever in a lounge, and I was in the kitchen, and I was starting to I didn't care anymore. Do you know what I mean? I just got to that point where I wasn't struggling anymore.
You just thought, I'm done
I just
for.
was like falling to the ground. And my mum's going, you know, get in here, I think it's serious. And my dad comes in and sort of starts shouting at me, saying that's what you get for being greedy. He didn't even know what I'd eaten.
Well, it was the moment to teach you a lesson, certainly.
So he's there like that, and my mum's going, oh, look at him. And my lips were going purple, and my eyes were rolling into the back of my head.
You look like Marilyn Manson.
And so anyway, she grabbed me from behind and did that fireman thing.
The Heimlich manoeuvre.
Yeah. And, you know, winded me. And it came up, and I was all right.
What, the whole popsicle came flying back out?
You see, that's what I don't understand. Because there was nothing there.
No, just a little bit. No, it swells up, doesn't it? Because it irritated it. So it went down your sort of like your epiglottis. It went down the wrong way, like it went into your air canal instead of your throat, and it sort of spasms, and that's the fear. You just got to calm it down and relax.
So in time, I would have been all right.
Yeah,
anyway.
you don't.
Well, no,
yeah.
you might have.
So that's so that's
hang on.
one.
No.
But the weird thing is, like for like 3 days after that, I felt like a sort of a special person. I went to school.
I'm not saying nothing.
I did full days.
A special needs person.
Yeah.
I went to school the next 3 days after that. I didn't like wag it or anything. I did full days.
I love that. 3 days, turn over.
Yeah, exactly. After 3 days, you thought, screw it.
Yeah, did a quick history exam. Right, next one.
weird.
That's popsicle. That's popsicle hell, we'll call that. Right, next one.
Which one's the next one?
Oh, what about your paper round?
Right, the paper round one. Paper round, I'd still say it's the best job I've ever had.
And he means it.
No, I really enjoyed it. It's like, you know, you don't have to work with anyone else, right? So you make your own rules.
Just think of that.
You know, you sort of
You're spreading information to people, vital
you're
information.
giving a service, and no one else is around. You know, you can just do what you want and think about stuff whilst you're cycling around on your bike. It's really good.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Imagine the stuff he's thinking about when he's riding around his
I
bike.
can't. Oh, so getting in the head of a salamander.
So anyway, I loved it, and even though I only got like 50p a day, right, no matter what the weather was like and stuff, I used to get up at 4:30 and go and do the round. And
Why'd you get up at 4:30?
because I wanted to watch the Pink Panther at 5:30, so I wanted to get me paper round done.
I said, why didn't you watch the Pink Panther?
And then
he went, I can't sit there thinking I've got my paper round to do.
You'll ruin it for him.
Yeah. So is it a good job or not?
So 4:30 I was up and about, and this morning it was like winter, really bad winter, bad snow, you know, freezing cold, really windy and all that. And my mum said to me before I went to bed, she said, don't be getting up tomorrow, I'll give you the 50p. I said, it's not about the 50p. So, you know, people want the papers and stuff. So,
conscientious.
So anyway, I went to bed thinking, you know, that's it. I've told her I'm still going, so, you know, whatever. Go to sleep, get up in the morning, and put all my kit on. And I used to have layers of clothing on because it was really cold. They had like a big anorak on with the fur on. I had like waterproof pants, and I got my paper round bag. And I went downstairs to get out and tried to open the door, and it was locked. I thought, oh, God. So she'd locked it so I couldn't go out. So I'm searching around the house looking for the keys. She must have hid them somewhere. I thought, oh, God, you know, I've got the papers to do. So I thought, how can I get out? So I went upstairs, climbed out of the bathroom window.
God.
Right, and to try and jump out of the bathroom window onto the porch. But the problem was, I had so much gear on, I was like the Michelin Man. So I could hardly move as it is.
Yeah.
And I try to get out the window, and I'm like, try to stretch down like that, get my foot on the porch, and my bag got caught on like the hook of, do you know, like how you have a hook so you can put the window open?
Right, yeah.
The little arm goes on. My bag had got caught on that. I was holding on to the wall and my foot on the thing, so I couldn't sort of pull it away in case I pulled it away and then fell on my head.
Yeah.
So I'm stuck there.
Dangling.
My dad comes back from working nights.
Yeah.
He thinks I'm a burglar.
Gets out his gun.
So he's shouting and stuff, going mad and going, Dad, it's me. And he had to give us a hand using a...
He's heard that wily trick in Manchester before.
He had to help me using a washing prop thing, a big stick.
What did he do?
Well, he said, just hold on for your dear life and I'll sort of push the paper bag off the hook.
Why didn't he go upstairs and sort it out?
It was at that point where I was in the middle. There was nothing you could do. Do you know what I mean? It's at that point where you've just got to make a decision.
Yeah.
And by the time you go upstairs, who knows what might have happened?
Sure.
Do you know what I mean? You've got to act there and then, not messing around.
Yeah.
So
And you could hear downstairs, now here he is, the Pink Panther.
Yeah.
Dad! Pink Panther.
Hurry up.
Pink Panther. Ever so pink. Oh.
So that was close to death because I must have been about 30 foot in the air.
So to cut a long story short, he gave me about 4 or 5 near-death experiences, and he went, and the whole point of this, he went, so that's why I think I'm going to die of something horrible, like cancer. And I went, why? He went, right, you ready for this?
Yeah.
He said, well, I don't check my balls. Wait. He said, I don't like the feel.
Carl, always check your balls.
Do you
I
check
don't
yours?
like the feel. Why don't you like the feel of your own balls?
They just, I mean, you know that I don't like bodies anyway.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? It worries me a bit that you've got all that going on in your body, right? And your skin's keeping it all in place.
Stop. We're going down a whole other avenue of discussion. Let's play a track. Let's come back to it.
All right, this is Karl, the producer of Ricky Gervais and Stephen Merchant on XFM 104.9. We're playing out some of the best bits. Hope you're enjoying it. Here's another one.
His homework was to come up with one of those stupid lateral thinking problems.
We maybe should give an example of the. Sort of genre.
Romeo and Juliet. Right, Romeo's asleep on the bed. Juliet's on the floor, covered in water and broken glass. What happened? And you ask all these stupid questions, and it's Romeo's a cat and Juliet's a goldfish. Again,
Awful.
What am I thinking?
Yeah.
Yeah, come on then, Karl.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a bloke lying on the floor, right? He's cut his head, blood's coming out of his head, and all his mates come running up, and they're all stood round him.
Yeah.
And they don't take their hats off as a mark of respect.
That is outrageous.
Why didn't they take their hats off?
I'm laughing, but it's probably as good as the real
absolutely.
ones. A bloke's fallen with his... Yeah.
He's lying on the floor.
Yeah.
He's dead.
Yeah.
His mates come running up.
Was it important that his head was cut?
I don't know. I mean,
Would it have been okay if he'd been wearing a hat? He wouldn't have been dead if he was wearing a hat.
What's your answer?
No, you're meant to answer questions. You don't just go, what's your answer? You say, where's the turn? So you go, no, and I have to guess. It's obviously like sort of motorcycle stunt team or a parachute.
Why didn't they take their hats off?
Because they're probably still on the motorbikes or something. Or...
Well, yeah, but if you mark a respect to someone, you could take your helmet off.
I'm getting angry.
What? They're parachutists.
Why couldn't they take their helmets off?
Because they're
coming down from the sky.
But he's on the floor dead.
Well,
but they can look down and see him on the floor.
Are they on the floor, Karl?
They're on the floor as well.
They're walking, are they?
Yeah, well, they sort of stood there looking at him.
They're stood there.
Yeah.
They're stood on the floor looking at him.
They're soldiers.
Why? But why? If
because it might be in a battle zone. They might have their helmets on, and he's been shot in the head.
No.
Well, that does work. You see, this is my point. That one works. That one works. Unless you've given us a piece of information where that doesn't work. What's the difference? Why is yours different to he's been shot in the head in the trenches, and they're looking at him and they keep their helmets on?
I just don't think it matters as much. If they're in the trench, they're already guarded a little bit, so they could take their hats off. It's the best mate, for God's sake.
Okay, he's dwelling on this. Are they normal hats?
What kind of hats are
Give you
they?
the answer.
No, don't get ratty.
What kind of hats are they? Baseball hats?
If I told you what sort of hats they are, you'd have the answer.
Wow. Okay, I've got to guess what sort of a hat it is then, have I?
Right.
Is it a trilby?
No.
Is it a bowler?
I know what it is.
What?
They're spacemen.
No. Oh, that's a good
That
one.
one
though.
works as well. This is my point.
I like that one a lot.
It works. He's fallen on the moon, and not that the moon happened. It was set up, wasn't it, in the
fake,
studio? We know that. Yeah. Okay, Karl. What's your answer?
Builders on a building site.
Why is that different to soldiers?
Because bricks don't fall in wars.
But bullets fly.
Right.
Let's play a record and we'll come back to it, Karl, while you think about what you've done.
Oh yeah, you've embarrassed
Let's play
yourself.
some classic Suede.
Yeah, and this is for David and Kieran. I think you wanted a bit of Butler. XFM 104.9. I'm Rick Gervais, with me Steve Merchant, Karl Pilkington. Steve.
Well, we were talking about the news just now, and there was a story I heard in the week. I think it was on the radio, and I don't know all the details. But what I heard was that a number of, I think it was Falkland, maybe Gulf War veterans, were, I think, suing or complaining to the government because they wanted compensation for post-traumatic stress disorder. Now, I don't know all the ins and outs of it, but it seems to me that if you're in the army and you're a soldier, a certain degree of trauma is kind of inevitable. I mean, after all, if you're any good at your job, you are going to see people getting killed. So I don't understand what the ins and outs of it are. I don't know why.
No, he already came back and Tony Blair met him and go, all right, well, not really, no. Go on, what's the matter? Well, there was people shooting at us and everything, it was all muddy. Well, calm down, don't cry. Well, I will cry.
There was a drill sergeant just kept shouting, saying, "Look at you, stupid boy! Where's this
he's
gun's
got
not
a train,
clean?" I
hasn't
just
he?
cleaned the gun and it was fine, and now he's telling me to clean it again.
Yeah, and the boots, they were shiny.
fine, he was
Well, he's
showing.
got to do that. It's more
His
distant.
neck was as big as his head.
Well, yeah, but you don't know what they,
I don't know what the ins and outs of it are, but
what you got to do is make sure you know what you're going into. That's what I do. You got to check the small print. So if I was, going over to like the Falklands or the Gulf, I'd put my hand up and go, will it be horrible? And I go, you at the back, yes. Will it be horrible? It will be horrible. Yes, it will be horrible. There will be shooting and lots of death and everything. I go, right. I'm not going to go. And they go,
Exactly.
okay then. Okay.
That should be fine. Yeah,
Should be fine. Yeah, just like that. Does anyone else scared about this? Pretty much all of us. Okay, then we won't send anyone then.
exactly.
My brother went into the army, right? Because he couldn't get a normal job, and my dad said, if you don't get a job by such a date, that's it, son. You're going in the army. And, so when was the Falklands? Was it about
81.
Right? And he joined back in like 81 or something. And he I don't know, he was in Aldershot or something.
Oh, yeah.
And he wrote back to my mum saying, you know, a bad time to join, bad time in this. So she wrote...
What bad time to join? That's so sweet, Carl, isn't it? That's like, dear Dad, yeah, well done.
Don't know if you've noticed.
Yeah. I was on the dole, that's for sure. Thank you for joining a month before the Belgrano.
Anyway,
go on.
My mum called up, spoke to the sergeant and said, can you leave him out of this one?
Can you leave him out of this one? What, the Falkland War?
He's only just joined, and she called him Chuck, which he got done for. Like, she's one of them, I think it's a northern thing, like saying, how are you, Chuck?
Yeah.
And she called the sergeant Chuck, and the sergeant said to like, my brother, your mum, you know, she's called up and asked if you can not go, which, of course, you know, I mean, we'll see how it goes. But can you tell
What
her?
do you mean? Why did the sergeant even entertain this?
Well,
Pilkington, come here. Your mum's been giving me a bit of earache. Now listen, tell her I've told you, but can you call her, because she called me Chuck and everything. Can you call her and say you don't mind? Well, not really. Oh, please, because I've promised her say you want to go. No, please, say you want to go. Why was he entertaining this phone call?
because he was new to the army, I suppose.
Who? No, I mean the sergeant.
I don't know. Maybe they do that.
So what happened? He didn't go in the end?
So he didn't go, no.
You can't do it.
But that's ludicrous.
I love it, though. Okay, we went over the top. Pilkington, I've got a note. Yeah. Is this really your mum? Yeah. Okay, no, this seems to be in order.
Because I noticed it says, I do not want to go into the army, I don't want to go and fight, and it's crossed out and it's good, mum says don't go. Now, you didn't write this yourself?
No, my mum wrote this. Okay,
definitely wrote this yourself.
Your excuse. You're going to have to fill envelopes.
No, I'm sure if he was needed, he would have had to go, but I think they made a bit of a special effort. They sort of said, oh.
Well, it wasn't conscription anyway. Oh, no, I was
But were the other soldiers going around just going,
Pilkington.
No, he ended up being a mechanic in there, and he got kicked out for going for a packet of fags in a tank.
What?
Now, wait a minute. Do you mean he nipped down the shops in a tank?
Yeah.
I don't believe that, Karl. You've made
Honest
that
to
up.
God. That, and he went off with the sergeant's wife. So that didn't help, and he ended up getting kicked out.
Sorry, your brother's a genius.
I love this. First of all, he gets a call from his mum, going, let him off. He goes, oh, God. Then he goes, where's Pilkington? His mum's on the phone. Where is he? He's near your house, Sergeant. Near my house? Well, why is... No reason. Well, when he comes back, when he's finished, tell him his mum called. And can he get me a packet of fags? Tell him to walk this time.
Wow.
This is ludicrous.
So the sergeant found out that he was sleeping with his wife?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
Did your mum phone up and say, let him off?
Let him off this time. Can he... Yeah. That's fantastic.
But he misses it. I mean, I haven't seen him for about 11 years, but ever since he came out, he's just kept getting into trouble and that. And the army, you know, people slag it off, but I think if you're a certain type of person, it's good for you.
It didn't straight him out, did it?
No.
He was going down the shops in a tank, he was shagging someone behind their back.
It's really weird. It's like back then, he was like a proper adult, and he had a house, and he collected crystal with his wife and that. And now, he hasn't got any of that.
Has he got the wife?
No.
Has he got the crystal?
Don't think he has.
And he has got the
I
house.
seriously haven't seen him for about 11 or 12 years.
Oh,
so I haven't even spoken to him.
Carl's stories always start off nice and funny, and then they just leave me empty and slightly depressed. I don't know whether to hug him or shoot him, put him out of his misery. Can we take Karl to the... phone in if you think I should take Karl to the vet and have him put down, because it's just too stressful.
This is what I'd like to leave you with, a song for the ladies. Start This on the Edge of Town from the amazing album of the same name, Springsteen. See you next week. Bye.
Feeder, come back around on XFM 104.9. You're listening to Ricky Gervais.
Yeah, I'm with him as well, Steve Merchant.
Thinking of dropping that.
What?
Thinking of dropping that, just going, because it's just too, that's all that. I'm Ricky Gervais, with me Stephen Merchant and Karl Pilkington too. I mean, get to the music, so it's, hi, I'm Ricky Gervais, this is XFM.
Sure.
Here's Radiohead.
Yeah.
Something like that, come out, that was Radio at XFM, I'm Ricky Gervais. Tony Blair, what's he all about?
Yeah.
That sort of,
Snappier.
Fast, because I quite, on a serious note, and you've always been saying it, I listened to an old show, because when Karl was compiling those things, I listened to an old show, and I listened to me, and I'm really concentrating now, because I sounded like the most inarticulate, brain-damaged older drunk I have ever heard given a show.
Yeah.
I mean, I was shocked. Not finishing sentences, leaving out words, slurring, just doing noises that you understand because you know me.
Yeah.
So I'm really going to make an effort for the listener.
Yeah, it's not going to happen, is it? You're going to give up after about 3
But I thought you were joking. And I thought it was like, oh, he's taking it there. Did it then, you see?
Again, I don't quite know what that sentence meant.
No, but...
Well, of course, I've got also your body language and your facial gestures, but obviously the listeners have got nothing else. They've just got the voice. They've just got the voice for it. That's all they've got. That's all they can rely on.
Yeah.
And when Karl Pilkington is the man holding the show together...
When he's the most articulate.
Exactly. Exactly.
How did I come across?
You came across as lovely. I mean, I did an interview yesterday, right? And I was trying to describe you to this journalist, and I was going, it's like a cat can talk. Because the things you say, I just want to know what your world is. You know when a cat comes in, you go, where have you been? And it looks as you're like, you know, it can nearly understand you. And you're like, I wonder, I'd love to know what that cat thinks. And with you, it's almost like we've got one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you like that?
You can also lick your own testicles, I think, can't you? So, yeah.
Should we play the Doves? Doves, Caught by the River on XFM 104.9. You're listening to Ricky Gervais. Welcome. I hope you're having a lovely Saturday.
Were you asked to appear on Celebrity Fat Club?
No, no.
Was there? Seriously, they didn't invite you?
No, I don't think they did. I knew about it and I was waiting for the call and I was going to be insulted, but it didn't come.
It didn't. How much are you looking forward to it? I'm quite excited about it.
I really am excited to it, yeah.
I don't know if people know. Are you aware of this, Karl? This is this Celebrity Fat Club. It's a new, one of those reality shows. It's 10 celebrities, I think. They're all overweight, and they've got to lose weight over the course of the series.
And they're celebrities.
And they're celebrities.
That's why I called it that.
Celebrity Fat Club.
So have they got?
Well, I'm very excited because one of them is, you know, that guy who was in Pop Idol but didn't win in the end, that really big fat guy, Rick Waller, Fats Waller, as I call him. And I was reading about him on the web earlier. It says he's been told to lose 17 stone because they reckon he might be dead by the age of 40 if he doesn't lose weight. Seriously.
How old is he now?
I don't know how old he is. He's only in his 20s, isn't he?
Well, that's still a good 20 years of cake eating.
It says he was shocked to find he weighed 31 stone when he stepped on the scales at the start of the show.
31 stone?
31 stone. But I love the fact...
That's really big.
I like the fact it says he was shocked to find he weighed it.
Yeah.
I had no inclination.
I kept my eye off the ball.
Exactly.
That must be all those breakfasts.
I haven't stood on the scales for years and I didn't know how much I weighed, Rick told The Sun.
31 stone, right? That is having a man on your back and carrying a man in your arm. Just basically two men going everywhere.
It is obscene because he looks. Have you seen him? He looks like one of those people who's wearing one of those inflatable sumo outfits.
Yeah.
He's just a little head and like a sort of. Oh,
we're not having a go at fat people.
I'm having a go at him, Rick.
No, because it might be glandular. It's not. It's breed.
Exactly.
Do you know what? This is true. When I did that Room 101, and I did one they cut out completely. I don't think I'd cut it out on taste. I think it was just too long. And one of the ones I put in was fat people who say it's glandular, right? And they'd done the research, and 2% of obese people can claim it's glandular. The rest, they just eat too much.
But the thing about Waller is he was going on the telly going, it's good, what a wonderful role model I am for people who don't conform to the usual pop star sort of stereotype. No, you're not a role model for anyone. You are a fat pig of a man. I'm sorry, but you are... No, Rick,
but
be honest with you, it is obscene.
It's not his weight that disturbs me more, it's his gums.
Well...
They've been through a lot.
Yeah.
Haven't they? They have been through a lot.
The weight does concern me slightly. Do you remember when he did his version of I Will Always Love You?
Yeah, but
I thought he was just singing about like a buffet or something.
yeah, outside the chip shop.
Yeah.
Go away, Mr. Waller.
Yeah. Just let me watch the kebab rotate once more.
No. Can I lick the fat off the floor? No, you can't. I just imagine those people who run all-you-can-eat buffets, when they hear him coming, they shut the door.
It's like it's one of those 1920s speakeasy. The front changes into like a laundrette. Just move on, fats. It's not... I can smell chip fat. No. Move on you go.
But, I mean, we're not Olympic fat Brits. They are also fat. 31 stone is sort of, quite big. But the American, that one, did you see that one? Seriously, we talked about it before. That one on Jerry Springer. And he was 75 stone. Did you see
75 stone?
He was in his bed. Honestly, it looked like a, I don't know, sort of molten lava in his bed. And it was actually sad, and I was really sad, because he was in tears, and he was going, this is it, I'm gonna do it. And Jerry Springer took the wall down, and they got him that to get him in a special ambulance and everything. But my point is this, right? When he got to say 50 stones, didn't he go, that's a lot, isn't it?
I gotta be careful.
For a human.
Exactly.
For someone that lives on land.
Yeah.
That is,
exactly.
I'll tell you, The fact is, they have to have special weighing equipment, so wasn't that a clue?
That must have been.
The fact they had to get in someone from next door to lift up a bit to tell him how much he weighed.
Yeah, the fact that he featured on the Ordnance Survey map should have been a clue that...
We've given you your own map.
Yeah, you are, yeah.
Stop
Eating. Fat. Always amazing to hear that, isn't it?
It's
Sugar.
fantastic. It's
I
such
can't
a
change your mind.
great tune.
I was listening to Copper Blue, the album from which that's taken again. It's just fantastic.
Old
It really
Mouldy.
was. Old Mouldy.
Mouldy old dough, as I call him.
Exactly, Bob.
You've got a real problem with Rick Waller, haven't you?
He turns my stomach.
I know, but don't...
Because he's arrogant as well, though.
Exactly.
That's the problem.
Don't explain to people that...
No, he is a bit arrogant.
It's his whole thing, that it's the whole package, so to speak, that you don't
Well, there's another thing in this quote, because
it's not just the fact that he eats too much.
He tried apparently to lose some weight, and he said the first month I lost 11 pounds, the next I lost a stone, but in the third my body did somersaults and I put on 9 pounds. I had a slip up. I can't say when, why or how, but it just sneaked up on me.
Yeah.
I don't believe it.
Yeah.
Don't believe it just sneaked up on him.
That body's never done a somersault in its life.
No. It just sneaked up on him.
Me, yeah.
It was the cakes again.
Yeah.
It was the same old cakes as before. It was exactly the same problem.
Sleep eating.
Yeah.
It's called.
It was the KFC bucket again. It was the family-sized KFC bucket for breakfast.
Dear. Poor man. The other thing is that I don't think that's a very good shock tactic for a doctor to tell a 20-something, well, to be honest, you've got 20 years to live.
Yeah.
That's not, and when I was 20, the thought of dying at 40 was fine.
Yeah.
I didn't want to live to 40. I just thought, what can you do when you're 40?
Yeah.
Just laying around doing nothing.
Eating cheese. And then you got there, and you discovered...
No, but someone said...
The dream came true.
Sophie here sent me something, and she says, I realise you're not Graham Norton, but I had to send you this. And she sent me the top of a little cream cheesy thing, and it's the brand name is Gervais.
How odd that is. They've named a cheese after you.
I think it's a big French company, and this is from the Czech Republic. It's all over Europe, and so
that would be a dream come true, wouldn't it? If they named a cheese after you.
No, I think it's probably ancestors, and so cheese is in my blood.
Sure,
quite literally.
It literally is. Yeah, another heavy Friday night, was it?
It comes out of pores like those Play-Doh things. Yeah. I can squeeze out different shapes.
Jane, bring the Stilton in. It's Friday night.
This isn't fried.
Exactly.
But yeah, so we can't really have a go at Rick Waller. I eat too much, but you're
not big. I mean, one of the other contestants on the Fat Club, Celebrity Fat Club, is another one is Jono Coleman.
Oh, we love Jono.
Now, Jono, I don't know, you know Jono, he's that guy who does, he used to be on TV, and I think he does a breakfast show on a rival station, doesn't he?
He's happy, isn't he?
He's so true, and he's a really nice bloke, Jono.
It's funny because he does a breakfast show on Heart, which is wrecking his own. There's a bit of irony.
Oh, I love Karl.
Thanks, Karl.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I love you.
I can see where you're coming from.
Yeah, that's good.
But we've met Jono a couple of times. We saw him at a couple of, not wishing to say not to show off, but a couple of awards dues.
Yeah. Like that's showing off. But like people would have seen dead there.
Well, yeah, but we went to one where everyone was in like tuxedos or suits and ties. Not Jono. Jono was wearing a pair of Bermuda shorts.
Big Bermuda
and
shorts, knee-length Bermuda
shirt.
shorts with just these little...
But I saw him again another time, and he had shorts on at a similar event, and I've seen him since in the street, and he's all... I'm wondering if he can wear trousers. I don't think he can actually wear trousers. I don't know if there's a medical reason for that, whether he's just... his legs are too fat.
I think the material is a waste of money. I think it's just that you can get shorts that big and they're comfortable, and, I mean, to be quite honest, I don't want to squeeze into a tuxedo anyway. So, if you can go... I'd love to turn up those things in Bermuda shorts.
Well, of course.
Flip-flops.
But do you think he started off by wearing, maybe he just had the upper half was a tuxedo with the tie and
then the shorts for
and the shorts underneath, and he would just have to come in, kind of sneak behind, a sideboard.
Potted plant.
Or a potted plant, or bring his kids ahead of him.
Yeah.
You are wearing trousers, aren't you?
You're wearing trousers. Of course I am,
In you go.
Kids move a bit. Well, no.
Exactly.
Of course I'm wearing trousers. Why would I?
Wearing trousers.
And then he just thought, this isn't fooling anyone.
So now I'm going to make a wacky effort to sort of,
The next zone is, I've heard he's going in a grass skirt and a garland around his, and he's going to come in limboing.
But you did ask if you could go to the BAFTAs in a dressing gown, didn't you?
Just for ease.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, right, is this talking about diets and stuff, right?
Go on.
They've come up with a drug that, they tested it out on a mouse, right? They said, it's a problem that weight is a big issue in the world, and, a lot of people are depressed, and that, probably like Rick Waller.
Well, I'm depressed looking at Rick Waller.
Well,
Oh.
I mean, you could sort out Rick by... Jono is an old man, he's got loads of money.
He's not old.
No, but he's getting on a bit, right?
He's about
No, but
my
hang on a
age,
minute. What I mean is he does his own shopping, right? So I bet it's
Sorry,
hard.
what do you mean?
Because he's like, how old is he? 35. right? He's got loads of money. He does his own shopping. So when he goes to the supermarket and he passes, you know, the sponge cake section, it must be tough when you've got loads of money to burn that you go, oh, just one more.
Yeah.
One more.
Look, so we are getting close to libel here, I think.
No. But I'm saying how it is because I've tried like losing a little bit of weight.
Have you?
And it is difficult when you're in Waitrose and you see a little chocolate muffin and you think, well, one more and I'll do without.
Do you like a little chocolate muffin now and again?
Well, yeah, right.
Is that your favourite thing?
So the thing is,
let him finish his point.
So the thing is, right now with Rick, he lives at home with his mum. So why doesn't his mum just say, "I'm going to buy less this week, and if you eat it all, you're not getting any more."
Yeah.
That sort that.
Does he live with his mum?
Sharp shock?
I bet he does.
So you don't actually know if this is true or not?
No, but anyway, right? So this drug they've come up with.
They've tested this on mice, haven't they?
They've tested
I'm worried if they haven't tested it on mice.
Thank God for that.
It's definitely been tested on mice.
Definitely.
They fed a mouse a load of cake.
Yeah.
Right? And it went a little bit chubby, and they said, right, stop a minute. And then they gave it this drug that makes you lose weight.
Yeah.
And its weight went down, but the only bad side effect was its eyes were popping out.
Well, that seems to be fine then. Let's give it to Jono. There doesn't seem to be any problem.
Oh,
with that.
Rick should get some of that.
Yes, Truth, Doc, look at these. Oh, Jesus, Jono, your eyes are popping out. That happened to the mice. Sorry? That happened to the mice.
But what
do you mean?
That's the option.
What do you mean that's the option?
So I love the fact that your choice is either be like a fat, happy man who has the odd sponge cake, or a stick man with eyes on stalks. I mean, Steve's chosen that.
All right, calm down.
Sorry,
I thought we were
mate.
slagging off Rick Waller and
Sorry,
fat
mate.
people.
Sorry,
Let's
mate.
have a go at the fat people before we start on me, Rick.
Yeah, no, I didn't. I forgot.
I mean, it's like...
Yeah.
Because I got some issues, and body issues.
I know.
But Rick Waller's grotesque, you know.
Yeah, sorry about
I'm
that.
just a little bit weird. I mean, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, should we play a song and...
Well, I'm
sort
just
of-
a little bit offended. That's upsetting.
Vines out of the way on XFM 104.9. You're listening to the Ricky Gervais Show.
With Steve Merchant and
we've
Karl
got
Pilkington.
to try and get on though. There's
time
not
for
enough. No, not enough time. Let's bang on. Let's do some observations. Some satirical.
Take a sideways look at the week's news.
Yeah.
Who's the fattest person you know, Karl? Is it an issue for you? Are you concerned about fat people?
Only if I'm travelling somewhere and there's one sat next to you. That'd be a bit annoying.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Ricky pointed out a few months ago when I went away, we were talking about plane journeys, and you were saying how it's a bit out of order. When you go on holiday, right, you take your suitcase with you. This is all right.
Was I saying this on air though? Is my question, because there's a reason I don't say things.
No. But I think you've got a good point. It made me think.
Oh no, I know what it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's sort of like if you're not allowed to carry a hand baggage on because you're a few pounds overweight, but there's a bloke behind you who weighs 10 stone more than you.
Yeah.
Surely the whole package should be weighed.
Yeah.
Like you and your baggage.
Absolutely.
Can
He
be
should have a
30
carrier
stone.
bag, and
So I can take on a Labrador and a wheelbarrow.
Yeah.
He can take on a towelette.
Yeah.
To wipe
absolutely.
his brow.
His sweaty, fatty brow.
Yeah.
No, absolutely right.
So,
and that does wind you up, does it?
But that's the only time. I mean, people can't help it. We don't want to, like, come across as if we're just having a go at people who've got...
But they can help it. This is what we're saying.
No, but that's a little bit.
But I'm talking about obesity. I'm not talking about people who are overweight or have got a problem with eating and so on. I'm talking about people who are obese, because that seems to me to be an indulgence. I mean, I read some statistics.
God, if we're getting serious, it is a problem, isn't it? Because it's an eating disorder. So what's terrible is laziness and kidding yourself. But the people who have genuinely got a problem.
But it's a genuine concern for the future of our children. Apparently, it genuinely is.
Yeah.
Apparently, it costs. I was reading some statistic that it costs something like. America, it costs them like $119 billion a year or something.
But that's not why people are starving, because fat people are eating all the food.
I'm not saying people are starving because of fat people.
Oh, you mean?
I'm saying that I'm saying it's a concern.
I meant we'll soon have kids and they're hungry because next door's ate all the food.
No, I just mean that apparently because exercise now, people aren't taking up exercise, kids aren't taking up exercise, that we will all be obese in years to come. Not all obese, but there'll be a big obesity
Well, I
problem.
suppose the natural state for the mammals, we crave fat. We literally crave fat for hard times. But now there are no.
Well, you're all
hard
saying
times.
offices typing away.
But our body hasn't evolved to take our social input in. So we still act like mammals, and we eat and we crave it, and we like to store fat.
Yeah.
That's why we have to go jogging, because we don't hunt, we don't do anything. So it's not really their fault. I mean, it is about willpower and sort of like, self hate.
But in
all
years
that,
to come, we'll have just pictures, like kids will just have pictures of, they won't have NSYNC on the wall, it'll be like sumo wrestlers.
you know sumo wrestlers. I saw this thing about sumo wrestlers, because they're athletes. They go into this thing because it's a big honour to be a sumo. It's absolutely
Really?
true, right? Yeah, absolutely true.
Yeah.
So you'd go along and you'd be 9 stone, and they have doctors there, so you have to eat to get big. Right? And this doctor was interviewed, so his doctor was going, it is against, you'd think it's against the Hippocratic Oath, but whereas they do it anyway, I do it healthily, so he gives them diets of like, 10 pounds of rice, 9 pounds of fish and things like that, and they get, but now, because it's such an honour, it's almost a spiritual thing to be a great sumo and that, they have apprentices willing to, like when you're an apprentice, say, runner or something, you have to make the coffee, and when you're working as an apprentice in the studio, you have to clean the floor and stuff. Do you know what apprentice sumo's job is?
An apprentice sumo? Go on.
They wipe the sumo wrestler's arse because they can't reach. They literally can't reach.
Rubbish.
We'll give out the
Who's
phone
taking that up as a profession?
I know. I imagine that. I'd love to be a sumo wrestler. It's a great honour, and I'd love to work under you.
Sure.
Sure. So what will I do? Start press-ups first?
There'll be some press-ups, yeah.
Okay,
There
yeah.
will be
What,
some
shall I
press
get
ups.
into the gym now? And
No, don't before you rush off.
Go on. I'm
will-
starving.
No, I can understand that.
Go on.
Would you mind wiping my arse? Because
Right.
I just...
You can't reach?
No, I can't get the arms back there. Can't get them down
Okay.
there. So, and but I'll be honest with you, a lot of this Oriental food, it doesn't sit well with me.
So
it goes straight through me, to be honest.
So it's quite messy?
It's quite messy down there. It's
Right,
quite runny.
okay,
So
okay.
be careful.
Okay.
You
No, it's a
wear
great
some gloves.
honour.
If you want to wear gloves, wear
I
gloves.
don't want to wear gloves. I don't want to wear gloves. It's,
Well,
an
it's-
honour.
it's an honour.
This apprenticeship is 2 years, isn't it?
You're not going to take my feces and cello, are you, as souvenirs or
No,
something? 'Cause it is,
I will be mainly getting fat myself.
Sure.
Wiping your ass.
Yeah.
Great honour.
Yeah, no, good. Well,
Great
no,
honour.
not
If
at
someone
all.
could call in and verify that. Look at Karl looking at us like we just said the worst thing ever.
This
You
is
say things
true,
like,
apparently.
makes your eyes pop out and putting Forrest Gump in a wheelie bin. Don't look
How
at
did-
us like that. We're talking cultural science here and wiping arses.
Yeah.
So, play a record.
Yeah, it's lowbrow and it's highbrow at the same time, Carl. That's an incredible picture.
Oh, yeah, this is for all you people who like the odd cake. This is Bowie and Sweet Thing. Do you like that?
Nice.
Sweet Thing. David Bowie.
Beautiful.
Amazing, off Diamond Dogs.
Absolutely.
We went to see him in the week, didn't we?
We did indeed, yeah, this little
Very
exclusive
tiny
gig.
little
Jonathan
gig,
Ross up there
100
for us.
people.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, lovely to see him.
Yeah, lovely to see him again.
Lovely to see Dave again.
Yeah.
No, he's looking good.
He looks great, doesn't he?
He was. Yeah. Was he bisexual? Sorry, I don't know why I brought that up.
Sorry, at the gig?
No. It's just a fact because I know he's married now, isn't he, with a kid and stuff.
Yeah.
But there was some sort of.
Oh, I think, possibly, I don't know, I wouldn't want to.
These pop stars, they dabble with anything, don't they? I suppose. Try anything once, don't they? These rock and roll stars.
But, yeah. So, if anyone knows the truth behind
Yeah, well,
sumo-
how does sumo begin? Because that's what I can't. I've never understood how it began as a sport because it's. Do you know what I mean? Because they are so huge.
Well, I
that
reckon,
it's not.
I reckon it was a fat bloke who was picking on a little skinny bloke, and the skinny bloke knew kung fu and so he goes, right, let's fight. And the fat bloke, no punching.
Yeah,
And what do
yeah.
you mean? He went, it's just leaning against each other.
Yeah,
And they went,
yeah.
well, you're bound to win. And they went, right, I've won. He went,
Yeah.
bloke, okay.
Yeah.
And that's how it started. And the fat
He
bloke
grabbed him. Are you wearing a nappy? Well, I'm pretty big. Yeah, I'm having
why?
problems now. I can't wipe my
I
arse.
can't wear a tuxedo. I just can't.
Exactly.
I just, that's the next step for John, who's been banned wearing a thong in public. So.
But seriously, if anyone knows how sumo began, I'm genuinely interested. Email maybe ricky.gervais@xfm.co.uk. Just as Carl, what are your thoughts? Where do you think it began? Because don't you think it's an odd sport? I mean, it is a weird.
They've always got nice hair. They seem to care about the hair a bit. Don't
Sure.
they? So he's sort of nicely pinned back.
Yeah.
Are you ever asked when people are doing like Sharma's Britain or people are doing like big
Historical programs.
they say we'll ask Karl about this. He might have an opinion.
Yeah.
They've got.
I'd like to see you as a pundit, definitely on those kind of on Newsnight.
It's just that I think it's a funny one because the whole idea of sport is to keep fit.
Yeah.
And that's sort of, it's a bit of an odd one, isn't it?
Well, it's the same as sort of like weightlifting. You have to go through all that all year to see if you can push up, something heavier than someone else. But you have to walk round in a golf buggy to for that one.
Yeah.
And take steroids and.
Well, the other day, I don't do much sport. I think living in London, there's not that many areas you can go and Actually, I'm probably wrong there.
Well, there's all the gyms and sports clubs
I'm
and stuff.
probably
yeah.
wrong
And the
on that
parks
bit.
and the roads.
But look how like excited I was going round to your place, Ricky, and you had like a little garden.
Yeah.
I haven't got a garden.
We played football, didn't we?
And we had a little. Well, I did.
No, you were rubbish. I beat you in penalties, 5-2, and then I beat you on knockout, I think 10-4, and he always makes an excuse. He goes, no, start again. We didn't say that. I'm cracking up.
So, have you seen Ricky play football?
No, I've not really seen either of them play
It's not football. You sort of do it like, it's like when you get a cat and you chuck it some wool, you sort of jump on it and lie on top of it so you can't get it, and then sort of kick it with his feet, lying on the floor.
Really?
No, what I mean is, he fouled me, and I was on one
Are you
hand.
sure he didn't just collapse because of all the stress and the exercise?
That's the other thing. That's
He
the other
just
thing.
tumbled on the floor, Stilton poured out of his mouth.
I was too strong for him.
No.
I was too strong for you.
Yeah, but you didn't last long, did you? It was like if football
I didn't want
matches,
to last
if football
long.
matches went.
They just bring me on for the first 10 minutes.
Who suggested you two play football? Did you suggest this, Rick?
Yeah, we were around there. Yeah, I thought, yeah, we had to go to football in the garden. Yeah.
Yeah.
What else do we do?
I just had a look at your salamander.
Right, is that euphemism or? Because I know that when I first met your age, you used to show your genitals to people a lot more than you do now. You definitely used to do that. You used to think that was hilarious.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is that you get to a certain age, men of a certain ilk get to a certain age and just
got it out, didn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, when Ross came in, he did the same.
Yeah.
It's that weird.
Yeah, I suppose. I thought, oh, you've seen it
Childlike
now. I thought
mentality.
you've seen it. You know, you weren't impressed the first time, to be quite honest,
to be honest
Steve.
with you.
So, yeah.
No, it's, it's
but,
nice. Always, always a treat to see.
Yeah, yeah.
What do you make of Ricky's place? What do you make of it?
Again, that's not a euphemism. It doesn't mean that I've got it's like a flat fish.
Yeah.
Do you want to see my place?
Yeah,
There it is.
It's all right. I mean,
You've seen better.
the pictures you've got on the wall. I'm not keen on the same sort of art as you are.
Right.
What sort of art? Because yours is quite sort of modern art.
He's got this big bit of
Abstract.
canvas with just loads of dark colours on it.
Yeah.
It looks really miserable.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you, it sort of brings the place down. If you're going to sell it, that woman on Channel 5, the house doctor, if she came round, she'd say, take that down, and you'll get double for it. It's just, I thought it was like a wall he was
Take that
testing.
down, get that salamander out, and just pop those back in your trousers.
yeah.
It was like he didn't know what sort of colour to use on the wall, so he's like been putting a little bit on. No, that's not good. I'll use like a bit of a darker colour.
Yeah.
And it's just loads of different.
Are you Brian Sewell? Because you're just saying.
So what kind of art do you like? I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
I like
Athena.
I like Lowry.
Larry, the worst painter in the world. The most overrated.
You see, it depends. You're getting excited about
Rubbish.
your stuff you've got on. Lowry, right?
Yeah.
You can look at.
He really is the Brian and Michael.
No.
Well,
But it's real, isn't it? Right?
what do you mean it's real?
It's real. You look at his picture and you see like little disabled people walking about. You see kids
That's not real, then.
playing with like footballs. You've got your dad coming home from work, working in the factory. Got a little dog barking. It's life, right? And you can look at it for like 10 minutes, go away, go and watch telly or something for a bit, go back to it, and you'll see different things in it.
Really? What is it, like one of those magic eyes?
You sure that's not a telly?
Yeah, you've been looking out the window, Carl.
You sure you weren't watching When the Boat Comes In?
People will agree with me. It's better than your stuff that you buy.
This show started off slick.
Yeah.
We had something to say.
No, what are you talking about? We're now discussing art.
We were taking the big out of fat people, and now it's
And now
all-
you've taken it all highbrow, Carl.
Play a record, we'll come back to fatties. Badly Drawn Boy. Something to talk about on XFM 104.9. You're listening to Ricky Gervais.
Well, then Steve Merchant.
Well, let's just get on with the... We've already had a complaint.
Yeah.
Someone saying, your TV show's so good, why is your radio show so hard work, you useless fat...
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you can't please everyone, Karl. It's like Lowry. Some people like Lowry. Some people like that fella who did the dark painting for me.
Talking of emails, there was some guy, he hasn't mentioned
Larry's
his name,
rubbish.
or maybe his name's Steve, but he said that he was checking out the Office DVDs. DVD's going on sale, isn't it, soon? I think the video and the DVD of The Office are going on sale soon. But he was checking out on Amazon, and he said that, it says on there, and I did check it, double check it, that it includes some special frottage. Or special frottage.
Oh,
Is that how
frottage.
it's correctly pronounced?
Is that mutual doing it to each
I
other?
think it's
or is it the rubbing up against each other?
Yeah.
It's one of those.
It's,
isn't it?
yeah,
It's some
that's
sort
what it
of-
is. It's where you rub up against people.
I don't know. It's something like that. Yeah.
So there's some special frottage on there.
Yeah.
Look forward to that on the DVD.
I think they mean footage.
I'm imagining so.
If you're buying it for frottage, you are going to be
you're gonna be sorely
disappointed.
disappointed.
Yeah. We're going to. That first hour then was about eating too much, wasn't it? I think we can.
That's essentially what we talked about, yeah.
That's what you know, I read something interesting. You know, they've banned. I used to get the Guinness Book of Records every year from about the age of 10 onwards, and I went to the section, like, you know, the biggest, fattest, all that, right? And there used to be gluttony records, and it was like these ridiculously looking Texans and how many hamburgers they can eat, and of course they were. It's just so dangerous. They've put it down to how many hamburgers you can eat in a minute now.
Yeah.
And so they've brought it down to things like 17. You know, they still burst their stomach glass for. But I remember I was watching the Big Brother when they had to break that record. You know, like eating sweet corn and balancing. I was thinking, who wants to beat that record?
Yeah.
Most of the records in the Guinness Book of Records exist because no one wants to contest them. There's one in there, a bloke there, that had his picture taken with a milk bottle on his head, and it's the record for having a milk bottle on his head.
Yeah.
And it's like 4 days I want to go, no one wants to beat that record. And there was one in there, this is amazing, this is absolutely true, right? Like last year's Guinness Book of Records, it says, in Thailand in 1988, some sort of temple or ceremony, these incense burners fell over and I think crushed people or burnt people to death. 7 people died, and it's under the heading "Worst Joss Stick Disaster Ever." Do you reckon they're going to try and beat that one?
Oh, God.
There's a guy up north, right, who's he's in the Guinness Book of Records for being able to put a car, a little Mini,
Up his arse.
on his head, right? And you think, oh, that's good, but without the engine in.
I love the fact that he puts this thing that still weighs like, 50 stones on his head, and you're going, boo.
Yeah.
What do you mean he puts the Mini on his head?
He wears a little cap with a little bit of sponge on.
They all do up there.
And he picks up this Mini.
Yeah, go on.
And it takes like 2 blokes to put it on his head, and then he walks around for about 10 seconds showing off. But it doesn't have the engine in it. So, I mean, if you're going to do it...
Yeah. Go the whole hog is what you're saying.
See, the reason I think he didn't do it with the engine in is because he couldn't, Karl.
Well, we'll do a motorbike or something.
My mate went to see that, what's that circus that came to London? And that was in the Camden, and it's sort of like really weird sort of gothic thing.
Oh, right, yes.
And there's he said at one point this nude woman got into a jar. He went, but it was a big jar.
Yeah,
he said it was a jar big enough for a woman.
Yeah.
People want to go, boo.
Yeah.
But, get into a jam jar.
Exactly.
And, I'll be applauding. But it's a big jar.
That's a jar shaped like you.
I will get into a wardrobe. Well, that big wardrobe. Yeah, I can get into that. No, I will get into the wardrobe.
I remember, I told you about this before, Rick. I was devastated a couple of years ago, when I read about that guy that won the world record for staying underground the longest. Like, what happened, right? He got in this box, and he was buried like 10 feet underground.
It was in a pub car park in Mansfield.
And the only way he could communicate was through this tube that they had that went up to the surface, and he could talk to people, and I assume that was how he got oxygen. And it said that while he was down there, right, he began and ended a relationship with a woman. She was a passerby, she chatted to him, they started this relationship and they ended it, right? Now, my point was, right, obviously, my luck with the ladies is not triumphant, and, I haven't got a girlfriend or whatever.
You're not Don Juan.
Well, exactly right. And what I'm saying is, when you read that there's a man 10 feet underground pulling women through a tube...
Yeah.
You've got to sit yourself down and ask yourself some very serious questions.
Yeah.
I was a little bit, as you can imagine, a little bit upset
From
by that.
the Midlands?
Exactly.
Yeah.
A little bit devastated.
Oh, dear.
Really upset me.
What is your method now of do you still throw little rocks at them and go, over here?
Yeah, there was a kid I remember at our school, Mark Johnson, when we were like 10 or something, and we were talking about Guinness Book of Records, and Mark Johnson went... Yeah, I'm in the Guinness Book of Records. I thought, I'm intrigued. You're a 10-year-old. I said, go on. He went, no, does this qualify? He claimed that he was in America once, and he went to see, a baseball game, and supposedly that game was the world record for the number of people in an audience for a baseball game. It was like some massive stadium, and this was the most people ever.
I'll tell you what it doesn't count.
And he claims he was there.
I don't reckon it was listed.
Well,
I don't reckon Mark Johnson got his name on that list.
Exactly.
Ross McWhirter would be going, well, that's the whole book.
But I think I remember him looking it up and going, there it is, I was there.
Yeah. Yeah,
Does that count? I mean,
no, I don't.
I've done a similar thing. There was an ice hockey game in Manchester.
Sure.
And they filled it. It was the arena.
Yeah.
They had an ice hockey game, and I was part of it, but I wouldn't go around bragging.
No.
You know what I mean? Now you've brought it up, I'm telling you.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, but you're not going to boast about it.
No.
You're not going to get a t-shirt made.
What's the best thing you've ever done?
I don't know.
Come on. What's the best thing you've ever done that we will go, did you really do that, Karl?
You see, it's weird because I've been thinking about this quite a bit. Because I'm 30 on Monday.
Are you?
Are you really?
Yeah.
Oh, you're just going to try and get presents, aren't you, from the listener?
No. But
I say listener.
Yeah.
But I kind of was thinking, have I had a good 30 years?
What do you think?
I don't know.
Karl, is this going to get a bit melancholy now?
Yeah.
Because we've been having a few laughs at the expense of fat people. I'm not sure we want you to bring it down now.
No. We've been having a jolly laugh about people who are morbidly obese.
It's always when my girlfriend's working away, I always think about odd things.
Do you?
Odd times.
So does she leave you shiny things or videos in so you don't get too depressed and you can...
Well, last night when I sent you that text. That was...
Right.
Right, let's play a record. This sounds intriguing, because I'm worried
it is
that Karl's
intriguing.
gonna be-
It's incredible. Right, play a record. Right, wait for this text that Karl sent me. Oh, All Along the Watchtower there by Jimi Hendrix.
Beautiful. Can I just say straight away, Rick, before you carry on, we've had some people emailing in about the origins of sumo wrestling.
Yeah.
But they've sort of cut and pasted a huge ream of information from the web. Thanks very much, but... we need bullet points, or not. Don't bother. You're wasting our time, frankly, with any too many sentences, proper grammar. We're talking about Ricky Gervais here.
Yeah.
So
not that I'd read the bullet points either. You'd read them too.
Exactly, but your concentration would lapse so quickly that it just needs to be keywords. You know, arse, sumo, things like that.
Yes, arse wipe.
Yes, arse wipe sumo. Correct.
Yeah, or maybe even a picture of someone wiping an arse with a tip next to it. If you could get words out.
If you could send through the origins of sumo wrestling in sort of diagram or sketch form, or in a kind of comic book, or one of those flick books. But just maybe draw a quick flick book, send that in.
But thank you very much.
But thanks for thinking of us.
I woke up this morning,
feeling fine.
It's not a blues song, and I turned my phone on, and it was from Karl, and it went, "Forget it, I've made my mind up." And I thought,
wow,
what is that? And I
forget
phoned him.
it, I've made my mind.
I went, "Karl, what is it?" He went, "Oh no, it's about the text I sent you last night." I went, "Well, what was it? I just got this text." He went, I was just wondering, I was thinking last night." He said, "Supposing you had to have your hands removed."
Sure.
Right? And the doctor said, "Well, you can either have them stay like that with stumps, or I can sew feet there. What would you have?" And I was bleary-eyed, and I went, "The stumps." He went, "Yeah." I went, "All right." He went, "Yeah."
And then what was his follow-up text to that?
And then I got the text, it was obviously before it, and it went, and it was like quite serious. What would you do if surgery not doing your hands? Would you have stumps or the feet? Right? Now the way, when I said he's made his mind up, and I went, "The stumps," he went, "Yeah." I think secretly he decided on the feet, but was too embarrassed to tell me.
There's a little bit of what would you do? Because
But why did you think of this? Why did you think of this?
Girlfriend's
How did this
away,
come about?
right?
Yeah, no, that's not why you start thinking bizarre
I'll
surgery
tell you now,
devices.
right? I'll let you into my little mind, right? Last night, I had some beans on toast, right? She was away.
It's good already.
She was away, so you had some beans on toast. She went wild.
Yeah.
Right? Now, I was stood up. I live on on a high street, right? So I'm washing up. I'm looking out the window. First thing that had me attention is I can look into other people's flats, right?
Yeah.
And it was weird how all these different lives were going on. I was watching them, and everybody had the telly on and was watching Volcano, right? Which was on last night.
Right.
And I thought, oh, that's weird, right? I can see them all watching it. And it was like a little Chinese lad who was dancing around in some underpants. And then there's a little old woman who lives downstairs who was reading a book, and she's always reading a book every night. And it's like, I have a better life than her. And then there's like some sort of bouncer who's always getting ready to go out late at night with all the black on. He looks like a bouncer. So I was watching all this life going on. I thought,
did you witness a murder while you were doing this?
Yeah.
It was like that sort of Sliver film where that bloke had loads of tellies watching people's lives. So that was going on in my mind. And then I was washing up and I picked up the plate and I thought, it's amazing, isn't it? The human body. The way you can just sort of, I want to pick that up, and you do.
Yes.
And the way your hands work, right?
Yeah.
You've got 5 little digits, but it's just the right amount to do to do what you've got to do, right? So I'm cleaning the plate.
Sorry, Carl. Stop. It's just the right amount. Might be one of the most genius things I've ever heard said. I would love David Attenborough to phone you up and say, Carl, how do I word this about the evolution of the mammalian front limb? Just go, we'll just say it's the right amount.
But it is. One
of course
extra
it is.
would get in the way.
Yeah.
And one less would just make it that little bit more tricky when picking up a bit of a slippery dish.
Sure, or buying gloves. Yeah.
A slippery dish.
So then I was thinking, imagine like going to the doctors and he's saying, yeah, everything's all right, your heart's good and everything, but
your art's good. What, your Larry's or
your heart, you're in good form and whatever.
Sure.
Yeah, it's good news. I had Giano in earlier. He's not looking good.
Yeah. I had fat swaller.
But you're all right. But your hands need to come off.
Right. Blimey. That's bad. Like, I get a second opinion initially.
But I better good news, I've got a nice pair of feet I can sort you out with.
Yeah.
And he puts them on, and then I was thinking, right, first of all, washing up, what would that be like? I thought,
Steve,
that'd be tricky. Yeah. And then the second thing was, it'd probably ruin the sort of the shape of your jumper.
Because you have to keep putting the feet through there. Yeah.
And then I thought, but I could still cycle in.
Okay.
To work.
You could run in.
Well, that's the thing.
You'd be really fast.
Well, that's what I was thinking. I thought I could still cycle because I could balance, and then I thought, but the only thing is I probably couldn't pull the brakes. Because of the little short things.
Yeah.
And then, like you, I thought, but then again, you're running in half the time. So that's what was going on in last night.
Right.
That's what I was thinking about.
Sure. Did you
How long did this take?
Well, how long does it take to wash up?
Right, because I imagine you just being there for like all night.
Probably 25 minutes.
How long did the little Chinese fella dance for in his pants?
He's always doing it. Last night he was at it for like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And his girlfriend never sits in the same room as him. She's always sat in the bedroom.
She's going, you dance in pants again, I go in next door.
Well, she was in the bedroom. She's always in the bedroom, sat on the floor, on the mobile phone.
Right.
All the time, yeah. It's weird how people's lives are just like, it is like that Groundhog Day thing. It's like, he's jumping about in his underpants. The old woman's sat there reading a book.
Yeah.
And that's what got me thinking about my life.
Do you think she ever goes...
Are you sure she's not dead? Every time you look down there, she's just flicking through it. She's just reading this book. The pages never turn. She never seems to finish it. She never moves from her chair.
Are you sure the Chinese girl's
cats
going...
are dead around her.
I'm going into next door again. That little round-headed fella's looking in. He's looking in at me. The bouncer goes, "Don't worry, love, I'll go and beat him up." But he's always getting ready.
That's true. They
see you staring at him, washing up, going, "I could have feet here," and they get scared. The old woman's dead. Oh,
Carl,
dear.
can you tell us roughly which neighbourhood you live in, so that we know?
It's central.
Central, is it?
Yeah.
Wow, imagine if that little... Was he a Chinese fella, did you say?
Yeah.
Imagine if he was listening now. I'd love him to call in and explain his actions.
Well, he might be on some other radio station talking about a lad who's always washing up and looking at his hands in a mysterious way.
But do we have this doctor that would go, "Well, all right, Carl, you can either leave them as stumps or I've got a little pair of feet." Why? I told Jane this, and Jane went, "Is that the only choice?" Could say, "Could I have some dead man's hands?" Have you got any? Where do you get the feet from? Can I have? What would you rather have then? Human feet or monkey paws?
Well, that wasn't an option last night. If the doctors said...
No, it wasn't an option last night, but don't forget, it's in your head, Carl. This didn't happen.
I'm just saying, at the time, that's all the doctor had to offer.
But it's your head, you can go anywhere. No, it wasn't a real doctor to offer. It's in your head, you can go anywhere. You're not trapped.
Yeah, but if you can do anything, then you'd say, "We'll sort us out some other hands."
Fair point, let's play record.
We gotta come back to this. Right. next Sunday, XFM 104.9, Ricky Gervais.
Lads, can I just stop you there straight away? Because the record finished before we'd finished chatting about what we're going to do next.
We're going to do Karl's stupid competition again. We're just trying to get the... I think that...
What are the rules?
Right,
because last week it was a shambles, Rick.
I know, it was too easy, that's
the
why.
week before, I should say.
I think people should phone up now and be held in a queue, and then he should have the clue. Otherwise, because people are just phone up when they know the answer or not.
But how is that entertaining to the listener? That's what I'm going to throw back at you straight away.
I don't think this is entertaining at all. I just think people might want to talk to Karl for just a split second.
The way we'll do it, right?
Yeah.
Right? This is me role here, right? This is the way we're going to do it.
Right.
We're going to say, if you want to win The Office on VHS, right? Yeah. You can call
Don't
it now.
say it like that. Like it's a rubbish prize.
There is some... If you get the DVD, there's some special frottage. All right? So, it's impressive.
Right. So they call up now on 08 700 800 1234, right?
Yeah.
We, bung on a bit of Elton John in a bit, right? Mm. We line up 2 callers.
Look forward to that. It's a beautiful track.
Yeah. We line up 2 callers.
Yeah.
Right? And then we have them on the air and we say, right, I'm going to tell you the little story. You've got to tell me what song it is. And they're playing against each other.
Well, could they be up at the same time then, so they can speak at the same time?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
But how can they play against each other? Because they haven't got buzzers or
anything. It's the first one, they can say the name, they can shout out the name, and it's organised.
Have they got as many goes as they want?
No, I think they should have one go at a time, and then the other person can have a go, and then they can have another go.
Yeah.
It's like duelling.
It's like duelling.
And if they don't win, no one wins this week. We're not giving away prizes willy-nilly.
Sure.
You know, we can give one away next week again.
Because The Office is not costing us anything. Because we were involved. We can get as many copies as you want of that.
I like
Seriously.
it. I like it when
we got them coming out of our...
Do you think the listeners are usually in on sort of board meetings like this? Or do you
I said this before, guys. I said before. We should do this off air, but you refused to chat.
Imagine Chris Town going, hold on, what? They can, what do they do?
They can phone a friend.
They just phone a friend. Look, come down to, right, okay, look, we haven't got this.
We've got this sorted. Phone up now. We'll play some adverts. Phone up now.
Yeah.
Right, so that's the plan then.
Okay,
right.
We're going to have a beautiful track here. Continuing our...
Wait,
hold on, wait. Steve.
Go on.
Right, I've said your name 5 times now. I don't need to mention you at all next week. Right? We're going to play Elton John, continuing our sort of thing of don't diss them just because they're old and bald now.
Yeah.
They used to be good. This is a beautiful track. I dissed him, didn't I?
Yeah.
Called Tiny Dance. So we're going to enjoy that.
Yeah.
Enjoy that.
Enjoy that.
And then,
if not the
now,
show.
Steve, what were you going to say?
Thanks for asking. I was just going to say, what should the audience be doing now? If they're listening at home, they want to play the game, what should they be doing, Karl? Should they be phoning
Say
you
the
now?
phone number again.
They should be ringing 08 700 800 1234.
Right. 08 700 800 1234.
And 2 lucky contestants get to play your game.
Yeah, what's the song?
What's the song that Karl's thinking?
Could I give you a clue when you call up? You've got more chance of playing if you don't sound like a mentalist.
Exactly. Most of the people that phone sound a bit like Karl. We're not interested. We don't want those sort of people.
Yeah.
We want people who can, who are maybe eloquent.
Why you watch me in my pants? Elton John, Tiny Dancer. What
Beautiful.
a great track.
That's magnificent.
Well, we've got... Despite Karl's actions, you should have seen Karl. It was like squiddly diddly. His arms and legs there. He'd have been better with feet, I'll tell you. He didn't know what he was doing. We were getting angry. At one point, he went, we get a man and a woman. And bloke phones up. He goes, are you a bloke? Bloke goes, yeah. He goes, hold on. And then another bloke goes, you're a bloke. We wanted a woman. And the bloke said, he goes, put the woman on. She came on, he went, are you the woman? It's the way he speaks to people. So who have we got on the line?
Here's the woman.
It's the woman. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, what's your name?
Sarah.
Sarah, okay, right. Steve, you want to be rooting for this?
Well, I think we should. It seems to me because you may need some help because obviously Karl's mind is a viper's nest.
Yeah.
It's a jungle in there.
Yeah.
So, if you want to call anyone at any point, maybe you've got some questions you want to just consult or confer, then I'll be on your side.
You're like her phone a friend.
Exactly, I'm the phone a friend. I'm the ask the audience.
Who's the bloke?
Here's the bloke.
It's Owen.
Owen, okay, I'll be helping you out should you need any help or clues as as insight into Karl's mind. I must tell you though, we don't know what Karl's going to come up with now either.
No,
we keep it real like this.
I should just say for people who've not heard the show before, this is where Karl now will tell us a cryptic story. And basically, hidden within that will be a clue to the title of a song.
I say cryptic. It's
gobbledygook. Yeah, nonsense.
So okay then, just to find out who goes first, my lad or your girl. I'm going to toss a coin in my head.
Okay.
So who can guess?
Well,
first?
ladies first. Ladies first.
Okay,
what was your name again? Sorry.
Sarah.
Sarah. Okay, so
Sarah, heads or tails?
Heads or tails?
Tails.
No. Right, my lad will go first.
Okay, so what this means is, when he's finished the cryptic clue, you, Owen, will get to guess first, but if you get it wrong, it goes over to Sarah, and then back and forth until hopefully one of you gets it right.
Okay.
We could be here for some time.
Yeah.
Right, and what are we playing for here?
Of DVD or video of The Office?
Whatever we can
Whatever
find.
you've got,
Yeah.
whatever format you've got.
Yeah.
Okay, then.
Brilliant.
Okay, Karl, go.
Right, so here we go.
So
then,
it's the name of a song we're looking for. Brilliant.
Right, this bloke, he's had a good night out at the
Yeah.
pub. Right?
This is probably all irrelevant. Remember that, Owen. This could all be irrelevant.
Yeah.
Okay, right, so he's had a good night out with his mates and that, and he's really enjoyed himself, and he's on his way home, and it's just like any ordinary night, right? Everything's just normal. He's seen the same people leaving the pub, going home, and he's like, see you tomorrow night. I'll be out tomorrow, 7:30 and what have you, and they're on the way home, and it's a nice night. Everything's nice, and he's walking home, and he sees this sort of smoke coming out of a grid. Right?
Some smoke coming out of a grid.
Yeah, a bit of like smoke, and he thinks, what's that? Right? And this is what's weird, because it's like any other normal night, but this time there's smoke coming out of the grid, and he goes over to it, and he can hear some moaning. Right? It's like, ooh. So he thinks this isn't right. So he stands over the grid, and he's looking down, and he can't see anything. So he lifts the grid up. Right?
Do you mean a grill?
No, a grid.
A
you know,
grid?
like a grid in the street.
What?
Yeah, he
Not
needs
really.
a grill.
A grill.
He needs a grill.
Okay.
Okay. And he lifts it off, and he's looking in, and like more smoke's coming out, and he can hear the moaning getting louder, and then this little demon pops his head out.
Oh.
Right?
Bloody demons.
And he goes, are you alright?
Yeah.
And the little demon goes, oh, I'm hurting. And he goes, what do you mean you're hurting? He said, oh, it's dead hot down there, you know. And it's weird, because he works it out that it's like come from hell. Right?
Yes.
And he's going, oh, I'm all hot and burning, all his skin's sort of really red raw because of all the flames in hell and stuff. So he goes, oh, he said, I tell you what, I'll take you to the doctors. And the little demon's like, what, you'll do that for me? And he goes, yeah, I'll do that. And he takes him to the doctors. What's the song?
That was Ricky Gervais on XFM. It's 3 o'clock now. We're going over to Natasha. Thanks very much. See you next week. Bye.
Man, that was quite a long story.
Ooh.
Is Owen and Sarah still there?
Yeah.
Have you dozed off? You're still with us?
Okay, Owen.
Any clues?
No, not yet. You
I haven't got a clue. I haven't got a clue. I have no idea. Can I think out loud with Owen, do you think?
No, I think Owen needs to at least have a guess
Go
before
on, have
we
a
can-
guess, Owen.
Smoke on the water.
No.
Well, it's not, is it? So,
Not gonna be that.
okay. Over to
Sarah,
you.
what do you think?
Bat out of hell.
It's a good guess.
No,
It's not right.
Not right.
Right, Karl, you'd have to give him a little clue.
Well, think about the little fella.
Think about the little demon.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's the clue.
Brilliant. Thanks for that.
Where did I say he came from?
Highway to hell.
Along the right lines, but not the right song. That's
Sarah?
Sarah.
Stairway to heaven.
Karl, if this is rubbish, I'm never working with you again. If this doesn't work...
What do you mean, if this is
Right.
rubbish?
Right. Okay. Take the main bit of the story. What's happening?
We don't know what
What's the main bit of the
is.
story? It took 30 minutes.
The grid. There's the grid. We got the grid, the
yeah.
smoke.
What's
He's
he
got-
done? How did the story end?
He went to the doctor. He went to the doctor. That's
He
the
went to
clue.
the
He went to the
doctor.
doctor.
Who did he take to the doctor?
He went to
The little demon fella.
Why did he do that? Sarah,
'cause
come
he-
on. That's a big clue.
Right, why did... Sarah, come on, let's think about this. Why would he take a little burnt demon to...
Was he burnt?
He was burnt, wasn't he?
He's from hell.
Yeah.
All the flames and that, and all his skin's
Hell.
really raw, and he was moaning in pain. And the little fella goes, yeah, I am on the way home. My tea's going to be in the oven and everything, but do you know what? I'm going to take you to the doctors and sort you out.
Sick.
Doctors.
Doctors. Oh, God.
Is there anyone you got there in the house who could maybe help you? Like a sort of 8-year-old child?
yeah. Yeah. An alien.
Yeah.
I've got a 3-month-old baby.
He probably talks more sense.
Yeah.
Not than you. Than Karl, we mean. Right, Right.
Right, I'll tell you what, let's play a record.
But
let's all have a chat.
These poor people have got lives.
Sure.
They've
Oh,
got
yeah, like we haven't.
No, but I know, Carl,
There's so many things I could be doing instead of this, Rick.
I know, but Carl,
We'll play some ads, right? and
they
come
can't
back.
stay on the line
They've got 3 minutes. They're playing for a video, eh? They've got 3 minutes to think about it. Is that all right with you?
Okay.
Yeah, and is that all right, Owen?
Yep.
Sorted. Right.
Please try and guess this, because Carl's threatening to roll it over to next week.
Oh.
I know. I don't want to live a week trying to think of a little burnt devil in a grid, as he calls it.
Burnt devil in a grid.
Devil in a
Devil in
by
a grid.
excess.
Smoky devil.
Oh God.
Burnt devil grid.
Sarah, any
Grid? What's a grid?
Any
He means
idea?
a grill. He means the little thing in the smoke. Burn.
Smoke on the water.
Barbecue to doctor.
Burnt. Doctor.
Owen, any ideas?
Devil Without a Cause by Kid Rock.
No. What we're going to do?
Is the word devil right?
Yeah.
So devil's a key word here.
And you're thinking about what's the bloke done? He's took him to
Devil,
the doctors.
isn't he? They can't
Why did he do that? Why didn't he just say, oh yeah, it looks terrible, but I've got to get off home?
He's a good Samaritan.
He's a good Samaritan.
Right.
He's a good guy. He's
a good guy.
Saviour.
devil.
Saviour devil for later.
We're really running out of
I've got
time.
it. I've got it.
Have you really?
Sarah,
Yeah.
I tell you this, love. You have got something to entertain yourself with in about 3 weeks' time when we get the DVDs and videos through.
Cool.
Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Sympathy for the Devil.
Well done!
Sympathy for the Devil.
Carl,
Oh,
it's
man
rubbish,
alive.
mate. It's rubbish. That's not a cryptic clue.
It's not rubbish.
Sympathy for the devil. You said he wasn't a devil. You said he was a demon. Right.
Yeah, but I
one.
couldn't- no.
Right. Okay. Sympathy for. What's all that rubbish about him being burnt and taken to the hospital?
Sorry, Rick, but I'm noting a little whiff of jealousy there.
It's so rubbish.
No, I'm sorry, but Sarah is
It's
happy.
not allowed to try and make people
Her
guess.
baby is happy.
Sarah,
her husband, or maybe partner,
Sorry,
maybe they're not
Owen.
married, maybe they're living in sin. He's also happy.
Yeah.
They're happy. That household is happy.
Owen's
Owen,
gutted.
devastated.
Static.
Yeah. Do you want it on DVD or video?
DVD, please.
DVD.
Sarah,
Okay.
thank you very much indeed for playing. Owen,
Cheers, Sarah.
commiserations.
Sorry, Owen.
yeah.
Triumphant. Another
You're so
triumph.
rubbish, Carl. You are so rubbish.
There you got it right.
Oh
then.
dear.
Rubbish.
Well done, Steve.
Jealous. I love it. I
Rubbish.
thought it was a great one.
It's Aqualung, XFM 104.9. You've been listening to Ricky Gervais.
Well, with Steve Merchant.
Well,
Karl
just
Pilkington.
let's get on.
We're
We're not doing that. No, we're not doing it again. It's rubbish. It's not cryptic. It's what am I thinking? There's not a cryptic clue. That
Well,
wasn't
Steve
simple.
got it right.
Yeah, but with all
This-
the clues, of
Sarah's
like,
happy.
he said his devil in the title. He went, yeah, and he went, he's feeling sorry for it. Well, that's sympathy. It's not a cryptic clue. We're not doing it again. It's rubbish. You brought the whole tone down. We started off with nice taking the mickey out of fat people. We went on to gluttony records and people being killed by joss sticks. It was going really well.
Yeah,
Then
it
you
was
bring the
chirpy,
whole
it was
tone
upbeat.
down with a stupid competition giveaway. That took me ages to make that video.
Yeah.
Right.
Sorry, Carl, but I agree with Rick. It's not happening.
See
It's
you
not
next
happening.
week.
Do you want to come up with a new one for next week?
Could do.
Come up with different competitions?
Listen to Simon Mayo in the week and see if you've got any ideas.
Yeah.
And Envy on XFM 104.9. I'm Ricky Gervais, with me Steve Merchant.
Absolutely. Yeah. Hello.
That clang you heard there isn't Karl.
No.
Karl's away. It's Sturgis.
Claire Sturgis is here.
Yeah.
You'll know her from the Claire Sturgis show, but we know her from our early days on XFM,
Yeah.
and we're good friends.
It's sort of like old times, isn't it? And Karl has had a little surprise birthday present.
What's
for
the
me.
story with this, Claire? Because I don't know
Well,
about this.
do you know, I came in on Monday expecting to see his little smiley face, as usual, and it's always not here.
Yeah.
What do you mean? So, apparently his girlfriend had surprised him and dragged him off to the Caribbean for a week.
Wow.
No, Canaries, isn't it?
Oh, I mean, I don't
Yeah,
know.
he likes the Caribbean. He likes the crabs.
Yes. Yeah. I thought he was bored of the Caribbean. I thought he didn't enjoy it last time.
No, he loved it, didn't he?
No, I don't think he did enjoy
No,
the
it's
crabs.
Tunisia he didn't like.
Right. He's been travelling, hasn't he?
I know, yeah.
He gets
he
about.
didn't like Tunisia because there's flies the size of matchboxes.
Of course.
And, and midgets in the kitchen. No, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. Midges or midgets?
Midgets, he said.
Right.
In
It
the
was
kitchen.
midgets.
He wasn't saying anything bad. He said that there were lots of midgets in there.
Lots of midgets in the
And
kitchen.
I thought he'd gone away to some sort of like theme holiday.
Yeah.
But no, this is I think Gran Canaria or the Canaries or whatever it's.
And how
called.
old is Karl?
30.
Is he 30? Is this
30 last
33?
week, I think. Yeah.
Oh, so it was actually a birthday present. Oh, I
Yeah.
see,
It's a
big
right.
deal.
Yeah.
Okay, I just
so,
thought,
but that's all right.
So have you got a competition that you can regale us with, Claire? Because obviously Karl provides a lot on this show.
Hold on. We could do White Van Claire.
White Van Claire.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with this? We ask
No.
you questions, topical questions, just
Okay.
getting your opinion really on the week's news.
Okay, yeah.
It's on the
If you
spot.
look forward to that.
But you know I'm a little bit,
A little bit simple. That's
like
fine.
just a little bit,
What?
I always sit on the fence. Don't
Oh,
I?
right.
Well, don't
You
sit on the
remember
fence.
You
when
see,
I
the
was
worst
trying-
thing there was she was saying I'm a little bit like, liberal
I was-
or
I- no,
undecided,
I
and
was
you
go-
went simple.
Yeah.
You
Well,
assumed.
I didn't know. I thought I'm a little bit, coked up? I don't know. Who knows? It's Sturgis. Anything could be possible.
But the other thing is with Karl, we didn't know how good value Karl was until we asked him sort of intelligent
this is
questions.
true enough, yeah.
Because he looks quite intelligent.
Well, this
doesn't
is
he?
it. I mean,
So
the thing with you, Claire, is I don't
discover-
think we've probed you enough. We don't know what, your
haven't
views are on a lot
probed
of
me
things.
enough,
But we
actually,
don't know what
Steve,
your
no.
views are, This is what I'm saying. We don't know where you stand. I mean, don't sit on the fence. This is the new Claire Sturgis.
Yeah.
All right, we're
Yeah,
going to delve deep,
dynamic.
find a personality in there, Claire.
Let's go back
All
to
right.
the old days. How about a bit of the Smiths?
That was beautiful, Rick.
Go on.
Oh, you've been practicing.
Gates.
Lovely.
Smiths. Cemetery Gates. It's a lovely tune, lovely song. There's one bit that worries me about it. It's sort of like a teacher warning. It goes, if you must contrive prose and poems, then the words you use should be your own. Don't plagiarise or take on loan. It's sort of like, what are you telling us now for?
Yeah.
Sort of like
yeah.
a lot of people there going, thanks, Morris. Yeah,
Yeah.
actually, that's not mine. That's Wordsworth. Right, I'm going to write my own.
Yeah.
It's weird, isn't it?
Queen is Dead, though, one of the great album
It's
titles.
not my favourite album. It was voted best album
But
of
the
all
Smiths,
time
what
by-
I love about the Smiths, they just seem to get, like, the Smiths is just a
that's done,
brilliant
isn't it?
name.
Yeah.
Don't you think it just captures everything about
Yeah.
them? You know.
We've got a thing about bad.
Bad, yeah. Well, I was watching VH1 Classic Smooth last night, and I love it. Absolute joy. Sade always on. You can always get a love a bit of Sade. But Foreigner were on.
Oh, yeah. I've been waiting.
Yeah. And, I don't know I can't remember which tune it was, but the album I noticed it came from, classy album title, Agent Provocateur.
Oh.
It makes my skin crawl.
But I also-
from the album Agent Provocateur.
I imagine there's a band called Agent Provocateur, and they're from Wigan. It's a girl singer. She's 35 in a tight dress, and it's four blokes with ponytails.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Doing covers.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Here's what you may remember.
Then they play a wedding. They go, "We're not doing a wedding again." There was people. There was cake being trodden in. There was
Exactly.
kids.
Children were just sliding across the parquet floor. They weren't listening to the music.
But well, we've got a gig at the Marquee coming up soon.
Yeah.
It's endless guest list, £5 in.
Agent Provocateur. If your band's Agent Provocateur or Agent Provocateur.
Have you ever been in a band called Agent? Yeah.
But that's got to be one of the, because it's not. I don't know what that title says. I don't imagine Foreigner. I've got that sense of intrigue and.
Well,
mystery.
one of the worst names. Right, okay. To pal. Right, it's the worst. Let's start worst album titles. Okay, I'll kick off with To Pal. Bridge of Spies.
Oh, Bridge of Spies. Is that the one that featured China in Your Hand?
I assume so. I don't think I did too many.
Bridge of Spies.
Who did
Bridge
this
of
album?
Spies?
Who did this album? Beggar on a Beach of Gold.
Beggar on a Beach of Gold. It's got the likes of Collins written all over it, but I know it's not
very
Collins.
close. Mechanics.
Mike and the Mechanics,
Yeah.
of course.
I don't know what that means.
Good old Mike.
He's a beggar on the beach of gold. Just look around. There's some money.
Yeah, what does that mean?
He's saying, don't be a tramp. There's some money there,
gold,
mate.
mate.
I don't know what it means.
I think it means that everyone else is rich, but he's still poor.
Yeah. I like it. Yeah.
Oh, it's a bit deep for me, Steve.
Maybe you just need a little asterisk at the corner and then a little explanation at the bottom of the record cover. I'm thinking about this. I'm not quite sure what it means. Oh, he's very
Nice
poor
one.
emotionally.
Chumbawamba.
Well, you know what can I?
Uneasy listening.
Yes. I bet it was from the Chumbas. Are they still cracking on? Are they? Because they used to live in a squat. and-
They've done about 400 albums. Them and the Levellers.
Yeah.
Who's the best? Chumbawamba or the Levellers?
So, good question. Thanks for asking that.
Yeah. What's the telephone number, Claire?
It's 08700 800 1234.
Or you can email ricky.gervais@xfm.co.uk. Worst album titles ever.
It's like real radio.
It's
isn't
just like Chris Moyles.
it is, isn't it?
Exactly.
Oh.
We got the big fat guys on the telly.
Yeah.
You know, and
I would too
his
as well.
kind of cheeky sidekick.
And my Comedy Dave.
You're almost as funny as Moyles. Fingers crossed one day.
Right, Sturgis, you've brought in a record, haven't you? What are you going to play?
Well,
What's
no,
this
I
all
just
about?
want to. Do you know what like a bootleg is, Ricky?
Oh, what are you talking about? Oh,
Yeah,
I've
yeah,
snapped a lot of them up on white label.
Yeah,
go on.
okay. Well, no, this is quite a good one. The Ian Baker bought in the other day.
Sure.
It's a bit of Dre, a bit of Snoop Dogg,
Oh, yeah.
mixed in with Crowded House. I thought you'd love it.
Hold on.
Intrigued.
The juxtaposition there is exciting in itself.
That's true enough. Play it.
The weather episode, Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre, Crowd House, I love that.
Enjoyable.
That
Yeah.
works for me, Steve.
Yeah,
What do you
it's good
think?
stuff. No, it was nice. I
Well, she
liked it.
started off all right. Should we give it one more go?
I think a round of applause for Cliff.
Yeah, that's brilliant. No, that's excellent, that. I love that.
Rick, the phone. Oh, it's just gone. No, I tell you, the phone board had lit up there. Gervais.
Really?
There was a call buzzing through on call.
A call
one.
came through?
A call came through on line 1,
Yeah.
and Sturgis missed it. Karl would never have missed that. He
Oh.
knows how valuable they are.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That was probably someone with an amusing album title.
No, I did
Missed
get
it,
one,
yeah.
Steve. I did
What was
get
it?
one. Do you
Someone
want to
came
hear
through?
it?
Yeah, go on.
Okay, it is from Al, who says, what about this? H to H-E, who am the only one.
Sorry, H
To H-E,
H-E.
who am the only one.
I don't know what it means.
No. Van de Graaff generator.
Oh, well, no wonder. That's the thing that one of those things at the museum that you wind up and you touch and it makes your hair stand on end.
Yeah.
That's the scientific thing, isn't it?
Sure.
I've given up, Steve.
Yeah, no,
Do you know,
I
that
noticed,
didn't really
I
make me
noticed.
laugh either,
I'll be
so-
honest, I'm thinking that the whole kind of amusing album titles thing we should abandon.
I thought that as I
thought
said it.
To be honest with you, I thought it was easier than this. I mean, Chris Moyles makes it work, that kind of crazy comedy
Okay, let's try
radio
and-
magic, but obviously and I don't think our listeners are into that stuff.
Okay.
I just don't think they can be bothered to get to the phone. I don't think a lot of them are able. I think a lot of them are,
Do you
still
remember
kind of smacked up.
Do you remember when we spent about 3 hours trying to get to through to the Chris Moyle show?
Vaguely, yeah. What was the
He
reason?
was doing this competition, and it was song titles with golf, about golf. Like, so you go like Drive, the Cars. And at that, and I was getting so excited. I wanted to phone up and go, Duran, golfy, golf. and I just thought, it might have, oh God,
Yeah,
it probably cost me about
ages.
30 quid just to ruin Chris Moyles' competition.
Yeah.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah, those were the
Before I
days
realised-
when we realised, he was a great talent and one to watch.
Yeah.
Before we'd enjoyed his new TV show.
But, anyway.
Yeah.
Let's not.
No, that's
slag
cheap.
people
It's
off.
cheap. It's cheap.
Yeah.
Anyway, what should we talk about now then? Because that all went well. No, I mean that's 20 minutes. That's 20 minutes done, and we've nailed amusing album titles. We've done that. That's fine. So we need a new gimmick now.
I'll tell you what. You know.
You've got something, you've got something, you've got something.
Wait.
Oh, Ricky's got something.
You know when
Here
you
he
go
comes.
out, you take an umbrella
You
out,
leave the
right?
house, you've got an umbrella.
You go to bed, right?
Yeah.
And it's a really sunny day.
Yeah.
And then you come out and you go,
Oh, we
God.
haven't bothered with that because it's in the way.
But then, right, imagine when you go out, right?
It's raining.
No. You go out without an umbrella.
Okay.
And then it rains.
Oh,
What's going on there?
Oh,
Isn't that
no.
weird, isn't it?
We've
when
all
you-
been there,
So
we've all
phone
been
if
there.
you've got like funny, weird observations of things that happen, like that.
Yeah, stuff like that about umbrellas or any kind of sort of accessory or hat.
What's give the number out again, Claire? This is going to be brilliant.
This is going to be great.
Take this one. Take this one.
08700 800 1234.
Just comedy observations.
Yeah,
and
the stuff
things
you
that we-
thought of. Wacky stuff you thought of. Just tell us what stuff you come up with. Get the Sony people on the phone. This is dynamite.
Suede. Positivity.
Absolutely.
They could always do a good chorus, couldn't they?
They could indeed.
I think we could play Pink. Is that really way out? You're saying that
Pink?
wrong?
You can't play Pink.
I like that new one.
Yeah, but whether or not it's in the
I'm
building.
coming up, so
No,
you
not that
better
one.
get the
Not that
party
one,
started. Do you know who that's written by? Do you know who that's
I'm
written
trying
by?
to call the nurse, but she's being a little bitch.
This will be interesting. You know, let's get the party started. I'm coming up.
Yeah.
You know who that's written by?
Well, the way you say it sounds a bit like is it Radiohead?
Tom York, you're thinking? No.
No.
Let's get the party started. I'm
'Cause
coming
I'm
up.
coming up.
I'm coming up.
Is it-
Careful, I'm
hold on.
coming up. Let's get the party started.
I love it. One more guess. Is it Johnny Rotten? Is John
It's not
Lydon?
very well, but
Go on.
this is the truth. It's written by that woman with the goggles and the big hat that used to be in Four Non-Blondes.
Is it?
It's written by her.
You're not thinking of Snork, are you?
No.
Banana Splits.
No, I oft got the two confused.
Yeah.
But, no.
Sorry, Goggle and the big hat.
She had a big hat, didn't
I
she?
know-
And a
I
pair
know
of goggles
exactly
and
what
kind
you
of
mean.
sort of
What
a
do you
sort
mean
of Jippo
goggles?
look about her.
What do you mean goggles? You can't say Jippo. What do you mean goggles?
What's the
Those
correct word to
flying
say?
goggles.
Gypsy. Jippo is, yeah, it's a terrible derogatory term. It's like,
well, she looked like some kind of scrounger, and she sort of had like matted dreadlocks, and
selling clothes pegs.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Listen,
Lucky Heather.
Yeah.
She had a big leather
Do you
hat.
remember when you got stopped with Lucky Heather and you
I
didn't
don't
buy
want to
it?
talk about
Then
it.
you had
I
some
don't
bad
want- I
luck.
had some bad luck about 10 minutes later.
Yeah.
So I always stop and buy something.
yeah. So hold
I
on,
got
so
shed loads of it at home.
So-
Because I don't know when you got to throw it away. They don't tell you how long you've got to keep it for the good luck.
6th of January.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, keeping it after that's bad luck. I'm
Yeah.
getting confused again, aren't I?
No, what it was...
I don't know which myth to believe in.
Right, stop it. Let's go back
Go on.
to... I've got a party started
So
going on
when are you
upstairs.
coming up? Yeah.
That is... As
So
I say,
Fleagle, she's
is
the
that
lead-
her name?
No, that's one of the banana splits.
Now you confuse me.
Fleagle's the one with the big teeth and
Right.
the goggles.
Right.
Snork is the one with basically. To be honest, I think it's an elephant.
Okay.
I think they've pretended they've made up an animal.
There's so
They-
many people listening who don't know who the banana splits are.
The banana splits.
Banana splits.
So, right. Listen, yes, they know the banana splits are, and even people under 20, you know. Like, Snork, Fleagle, Drooper. Who was the other one?
If you can remember the name of that,
What's the number? Because I actually want to know this. This is what radio's for. When I can't think of something, they tell me.
Yeah. So which
It's
one have you got?
08700
I've got
800 1234.
Drooper and Snork.
I've no idea.
God.
I've no idea.
Fleagle, Drooper and Snork. Drooper and Snork. Fleagle. Bingo!
Nice. Well done. Don't bother calling.
Sorry.
That particular tragedy or that has been avoided.
Bingo. I
Yeah,
don't know what
the
bingo
moment's
looks
passed.
like. Yeah. There was one.
Anyway.
There was one that had sewn up eyes. Drooper, I think. Sorry, go on.
No, anyway, my point was this.
Go
that,
on. Pink.
Oh, I can't be bothered.
No, really?
I can't be bothered.
I think we can play that new one by Pink.
You
'cause it's
cannot
sort of
play
like,
Pink.
Why? Because it's too poppy.
They just won't allow Pink on XFM.
They what?
They will not allow Pink on XFM.
They what? They-
Wait a minute, that's red rag to a bull.
I've always been a rebel.
Someone's telling you that you can't do something. That's crazy. Right, let's
I'm
also
gonna-
get the new Justin Timberlake single.
I
The
tell you
thing
what.
is, Ricky, you're going to have to nip down and have a word with Foxy because we haven't got it up here.
Really?
Yeah.
I'd
mean,
love
he'll
to.
have it.
Can't
but-
you call someone at Capital Radio?
Well, yeah.
Can we
What's that
call
one?
some?
No, what's that one by Busted? That's what I go to school for.
What about Abs?
Dynamite. Abs, the new one from Abs. Dynamite.
Yeah. Well, play a record and we'll discuss this Pink thing.
Would you want a bit of cat?
Oh, Cat Stevens.
Yeah,
Yeah,
bit of
Cat's
that.
full of four. This is Sittings. Lovely. Piano and everything, isn't it?
Oh, this was the tune we were originally going to use as the theme music for TV's The Office. That starts
Yeah.
again on Monday, I think. It's 1 o'clock.
Just play it. Cat Stevens and Sitting.
I couldn't find Pink, Rick, but I've got the S Club Juniors. What do you think?
Pink is all right.
Magic
Just
carpet
because it hasn't got the credibility of like new punk and new metal. It's a good tune. It's all right. We've never been snobby. We've never worried about credibility, have we?
Hearsay? They're all down there. I can go and get them.
I'll tell you what, if you're going to do that, I'm just going to play adverts from now on. Can we play some adverts? Supergrass. Grace on XFM 104.9. I've been forgetting to say that.
Yes.
It's all gone to pot. Isn't it? I'm Ricky Gervais with me, Steve Merchant.
Hello there.
Little Karl's not here. Claire Sturgis is here.
Absolutely.
Hello.
Yeah.
Cracking? Yeah.
Now, I think we can play Pink, you know.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't want to be responsible for it.
No?
I mean, I don't have a problem particularly with the lady. You know, she's made a good effort with it, and I think, but apparently it's either number one or it's likely to be number one
Really?
this week. So,
So it's not that rebellious, me
It's not
playing this.
particularly
isn't it?
rebellious.
No.
But I don't know. I mean, what worries me is that whether the audience will turn against you and that you'll lose all musical credibility.
Have I got any?
No,
Have I did have any?
Very little.
Really?
I had an email just now, and I think maybe this answers why we didn't get very many calls about the give us a crazy band name or an album title.
Think about the number?
No. They think maybe they're all at the march, the big march, which makes a lot of sense because I would imagine a lot of the sort of losers that listen to our show.
What's the march
Probably
about?
also agree that they should go and protest about a war.
Oh, it's the
Oh, is that
anti-war
what
the
march,
anti-war
yeah.
march?
It's against the war.
So, well, I don't really know the ins and outs of this whole thing. Really, I mean, it sounds like
Yeah.
it's a long way away. I
I
don't know if
suppose
they
it's
wanna
like,
bother on it.
yeah. They were asked if they wanted a war, and they said no. Is
Yeah.
that so bad, Steve?
Yeah.
Do that
No,
bad?
I mean, good luck to them. I don't think he's going to have much effect, to be honest.
You don't think?
No, I don't really believe in
Bush
all
is
that.
listening.
I don't think he's worried in the slightest. A couple of
No.
sort of dropouts and some sort of junkies are in the streets, you know.
Well, you
And a couple
say
of
that,
old
you say
ladies.
that, but what's their names? Specials, Free Nelson Mandela. 8 years later, he was out.
That's true enough.
So
that's absolute. I forgot about that.
I think they were. Yeah,
And Live Aid sorted out world hunger.
yeah.
That put an end
was
to
done.
that. So that was. But I see the difference there is
Ebony and Ivory, no more racism now.
But musicians...
That was done.
Rick, you see musicians were involved there.
Yeah.
I don't think any musicians are involved this time. I think David Albarn's there.
They've probably taken their bongos and their didgeridoos.
tablas.
You can see they're walking down now, loads of ponchos.
Yeah.
You were going to wear a poncho once, 'cause you thought it'd make you more of a hit with the ladies, weren't you?
Oh, but they're so now, ponchos.
They are,
in
aren't
Topshop,
they really?
they are so now.
So you'd have been ahead of your time.
As ever.
You see, I think if you wait a couple of years, those clogs will be in.
Exactly. This is what I'm hoping.
You just-
What about this pipe? I like to think that the pipe is definitely on the way back at some point. The pipe's
Yeah,
got to
the
come
pipe
back.
with
What
the
do you think of a lady? As a lady, what do you think of a man who smokes a pipe?
I think it's lovely.
Do you think it's quite
very
sexy?
sexy, yeah.
'Cause I think it's quite
I wouldn't want to
distinguished.
snog
It takes your breath away. What?
because I've given up smoking, Steve.
Yeah, it takes...
Well, I won't be giving you a blowback. I don't know what that phrase is, Rick. I gambled with that phrase. I don't know if a blowback... I think that could be obscene. I've got no idea what a
No,
blowback
I think it is very, very sexy in a sort of a Val Dunican kind of way.
He never smoked a pipe.
Not
Did he
Val, I
not?
think.
No, he smoked a goat.
Oh, right.
Well, he sang about smoking a goat.
But what
About
worries
Paddy
me,
McGuinness
Claire,
goat. It blew up.
if you look at pictures of the great sort of thinkers of our time, and maybe they're at college or university in the sort of 1930s, you got those great, the great thing of people who became the great artists of our century, and you see pictures of them in Oxbridge when they're 19, they're all smoking pipes in tweed suits.
Yeah.
No young people now are smoking pipes. I fear that it's going to be dead in like 15 years. I don't think anyone's going to be smoking pipes.
But I think, again, you
I feel
are
like
way
maybe it's me
ahead
with a
of your
certain
time.
profile.
Yeah.
Maybe I've got to try and bring it back.
Bring it back. I think
And
so.
then we could be seeing kids in Top Shop on a Saturday.
Let's not forget sniffing snuff.
Some snuff.
My nan used to sit there with 2 brown stains just dribbling from her nose.
Lovely.
Yeah, and that bit of snuff and some gin.
Well, this is it. Because my friend always said if he won millions of pounds, he'd spend it all trying to bring back as a fashion accessory the cape.
The cape.
Because I think
See,
the
I
cape,
quite like the
because you can
cape,
make such an entrance with the cape
And a
can't you?
cane.
A cape and a cane, yeah, and a top hat. I wish people had to wear hats now.
I couldn't
I
carry
love
it off because
hats.
my shape and size. I look like Bertie Bassett. Whereas you look Basil Rathbone.
I'd look pretty good at all sort of
You'd cut a
Christopher
good-
Lee.
yeah.
in a cape.
Wow. You
But
would.
because I'd sweep into a room,
I
with
know.
bellow
Yeah,
behind
see,
me.
I think you look like. And don't get this wrong. Don't take this wrong. Right, we're mates. I think you look like a freak with a cape on.
Okay.
So-
all right. Well,
And at which point would you take it one step further and add the deer stalker, and go the whole Sherlock Holmes
so
route?
I'd have the cape, the pipe, the deerstalker, and
Yeah.
I'd solve crimes.
It looked great. It looked like some sort
You
of.
could be my fat companion.
I could be. What sort of like get padding and stuff. Yeah. No, I like that. Yeah.
I'd like to solve more crimes. If I'm being truthful, I'd like to.
I would love to solve crimes.
Just to solve one crime would be
Oh,
great.
I wouldn't matter if I solved it. If they police came to me and said, I'd just look at the first bloke, go in.
Yeah.
Just get it off the streets. You know what I mean? Just like tick, done that.
Sure, yeah. But I
You
just
know.
feel there'd be something. I feel like maybe because like in TV shows, it always used to be they were a doctor who also solved crimes. They were a plumber, they solved crimes.
Quincy.
Quincy,
I think,
oh, yeah.
But a couple of sort of BAFTA-winning writers.
What did Heart
comedians
to
who
Heart
also
do?
solve crimes. That's good.
That'd be good. wouldn't
That'd
it?
be great.
What did Heart to Heart do? They were just
They
millionaires.
were just a couple, a millionaire couple who would invariably what was
But they
the Murder
did
She Wrote?
that
She was just a
every
novelist.
week, though. Every
she?
week, Heart to Heart.
Murder She Wrote.
Murder
She
She
wrote
Wrote.
it and she solved it.
always solved it.
It's
Yeah.
brilliant. Murder She Did wouldn't have been such a good sort of
No,
thing. No.
But this is what you don't seem to get that anymore. People who do one job for a living. DJ who also solves crimes. The DJ who solved crime, that was Shoestring.
Was he a DJ?
Yeah.
He was
Eddie
a private
Shoestring
ear, wasn't he? He was a private
DJ who was
ear
also a
on the
private eye.
radio.
Is that what that was? That the thing they did?
Not private eye, private ear.
Is that what they said?
Yeah.
And how did he solve it? He worked out clues
Yeah.
for call-ins and stuff.
Yeah.
No, he used to leave the building. He didn't just sit there and play records and then try and guess.
That's great.
Give us a call on the usual number if you've got any idea who murdered.
No, it's Snitch Hour. Got a letter here. Who reckons she knows?
I know a lot of my friends are big fans of Midnight Caller. Do you remember Midnight Caller? Was he a DJ who solved crimes?
Yeah, it was one of those late night things in America, wasn't it?
But was he a DJ? He solved crimes, didn't he?
I don't know if he'd solved crimes or just solved...
If you've ever solved a crime, email
solved
us.
puzzles. He had one of those puzzler books. Weren't you on the front cover of Puzzler once? One of those things you get. Weren't you?
Puzzler.
Were you?
Was I?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, it was your other friend who was a
of mine,
DJ.
yeah, it was a cover of Puzzler magazine.
That's it, yeah.
So was Puzzler a rude thing?
No, it was one of those things that
Those puzzle books you can buy in
You,
the
Oh, actually, it's a
you
puzzler.
do
Oh,
for
so-
coach journeys, and they just put people's pictures on without permission.
Yeah.
I know people are just like, well, I didn't give permission. They just find like celebrities, and they just get their picture and they stick them on the
Well, they
front.
would have used me then, would they?
Well, I
Celebrities.
forgot. I didn't. Hey, Pink.
Should we play Pink?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I don't live by the rules.
Be on your head. Here we go.
That was the Strokes and kids of Kids are mental.
Yeah.
That was
No, you're all right.
No, shut up.
No, the thing is, I think if we'd introduced that as just, and we didn't mention who it was, and we just said this is the new one from one of those trendy new bands, you know, the Boomtown Rats. then I'm sure these listeners would have happily accepted it. But as it was, they knew it was Pink, and the phone lines have gone crazy. We had upwards of 2 calls. So I'll tell you this, we had between 2 and 4 calls. And they've not enjoyed it.
Why do we do this show? We don't need to do this show.
Because you love us.
We could be on Radio 1.
Oh, man,
we could be on Radio 2, probably.
Yeah.
I don't know. Virgin, I think, called once.
Yeah.
Ages
Someone's
ago.
just emailed, they just said, Pink sounds like Run for the Sun by Bucks Fizz. I can see what they're thinking.
What do they want then?
Well, yes.
Okay, what's the phone number again?
You know what people are like? I never understand who phones a radio. Who tries? It took us like 2 hours to fail to get through to Chris Moyles. People will phone radio stations. Can you please play the new one by The Strokes? You just buy it, or you'll have the album. Why have you got to hear it on the radio? What difference does that make? Some guy talks at the end and the beginning of it, partially ruins the song. I can't understand who phones up for a request.
We're really alienating our listeners now, aren't we?
Nice
We're going, we don't care what you think, go and buy it. We're going to play what we want and we don't care.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not being particularly funny or interesting. We haven't even got that to fall back on.
I'll tell you what it is, Rick, arrogance.
Laziness.
When you've got a hit TV show on your hand and you've won the awards and you're making the kind of money that you are at those massive corporate gigs, where they're paying you thousands of pounds to turn up for 10 minutes. You don't need this.
I mean,
Steve, don't you get that then?
I'm afraid I don't, Claire.
We carved it up early on that Steve would not be making the sort of money that I would.
Yes.
And he shook on that.
That was written contractually.
So I think.
So you did shake on that?
Oh,
yeah.
yes.
It would be horrible to go back. I don't think he realised quite the difference.
Yeah.
But
the huge success.
I don't think he'd want me to Welsh on it.
Right.
I don't think he'd be happy with himself if I gave him any.
I couldn't live with myself if you gave me some of that cash.
Well, what should we play then? What should we play? Should we play the Strokes or something?
By playing the Strokes.
Go on then. That's it.
Oh, thank God for that.
Electric Soft Parade. Same way every day. Is that what you want? Is that what you want?
Do you mean me or the listener?
The listener.
Sure.
Is it what? So they didn't like. So they want good music. They see.
Apparently, Rick, they would prefer good music to.
They want good music, do they? Are you sure they want good music?
They appear to want good music, Rick. Why? Hang on, wait a minute. What are you thinking?
I'm going to think of playing a really good record next.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait.
No. They've wound me up now. They want good music. They don't want, right. So I will do a little deal with them.
Okay.
I will play them a fantastic piece of music. As long as they promise to turn the stereo up to number 10.
Wee. What about the neighbours, Rick? Think about the neighbours.
What, you think they'll annoy the neighbours?
They may annoy
Steve,
the
maybe
neighbours.
I want them to annoy the neighbours.
Wait a minute.
What?
Rick, you know what that was?
What?
It's the sound of the rule book being torn up.
Yes! Yeah.
Rick.
Yeah. You think I'm playing with fire?
It sounds like it.
Maybe I like getting burned.
Oh, careful, Rick, careful. Because you could scold your hands, but what about your elbows? I wish I knew what that meant. I didn't really think that through.
This is a great piece of music by one of the greatest bands ever. Okay, it's one of their best songs.
Yeah, that's true enough.
It is long.
It's a long tune.
Well, you know what?
What, you can't handle it?
You can't. You don't want 8 minutes of
you
The
don't want
Who.
8 minutes of cracking music?
Yeah, listen to
Please
this.
switch off your radio.
No, seriously, turn the radio up.
Crank
it up. Go.
Rock it up.
That makes up for Pink, doesn't it?
Oh, man alive. Oh,
it's an amazing track.
It's incredible.
It is. I mean, incredible.
It's textbook rock and roll.
But when I was growing up, I had 2 favourite lyrics all time, and one of them's in there: "Meet the new boss, same as the old boss."
Yeah, it sends a shiver down your spine.
It's fantastic. And the other one was it's on America's tortured brow that Mickey Mouse has grown up a cow.
Nice.
Do you know that is?
Nice. Who?
Got a phone in. This would be a competition. What should we give away?
Office.
We haven't got any, have we?
Why don't you just sign your signature on a piece of paper or something? That's got to be worth something in a couple of years.
£4.
Yeah.
£4 you get on
It
eBay.
would cheapen the piece of paper.
Not if it's a rubbish bit of paper.
I've had an
which
email
I probably would sign.
There's an email here from Davey
Look,
Monroe.
it's lit up. No, wait a minute. Look at that.
Oh my God!
They've gone mad. They answer it. Put them live.
Oh.
They might know the answer.
Hang on.
We'll give them some. We'll give them some CD.
How do you put it live?
Why do you figure that out? Let me just read this email.
Go on.
No,
If you're having to play, it says here, if you're having to play extra ad breaks and 8-minute long songs, it just goes to show who provides all the material for that radio show of yours. Did Karl secretly write The Office as well? And I think to myself, it's like, what do you want from us?
Just see if someone's on the
One of the
phone.
most incredible rock and roll tunes ever laid down on vinyl, and you're whinging.
I know.
Because you'd rather have our inane banter. What kind of a person are you?
No, they'd rather have Karl's inane banter.
clearly.
Don't big your
I've
roll
just-
up. They
no,
don't
no.
want that as a doll, Steve.
I've just had a phone call from a very nice girl saying, "Where's Karl?" I said, "Well, he's back next week. What's wrong with me?" She went, "No, you're lovely, Claire." She said, "But Karl calms the other two down."
Sure.
Really?
Can we just see if someone's on the phone? Is
Yeah, go
anyone
on then.
there?
Right, what are we going to give them? We're going to give them some
got nothing.
CDs or
We're
something.
running on
Well,
empty.
take the name. Right.
Anyone there? Hello?
Hello?
Oh, God, there's someone there.
Oh, I've got to put my headphones on.
Oh,
haven't
hang
I?
on. Oh,
What was the lyric again?
Stay
Rick?
there, please.
All right.
It's on America's tortured brow that Mickey Mouse has grown up a cow.
Life on Mars. David.
Life on Mars, David Bowie. It's easy as that.
Hey.
What's your name?
It's John Ball.
John Ball.
John, I'll be honest with you, we got nothing. We got nothing to give you.
It's not good enough.
No, we'll get him some. We'll give him an office CD.
He doesn't.
and some...
We can't keep doing that, Rick. It's
We've got
pathetic.
nothing
Yes,
else. They
you
don't
can.
give us anything, do they? They don't. It's no wonder we get into the building. No one's
know,
around
I know.
on Saturdays. No one cares.
Office DVD.
Yeah,
What
okay.
would you really like, though, if you could have anything?
Yeah, Office DVD.
See?
There you
Fair
go.
enough, fair
Brilliant. Okay.
Stay on the line, mate, and I'll get you details. Okay.
Excellent. That was a competition. That was like real radio.
Well done.
It was like real radio. Now we've got to play David Bowie, haven't we? That's what they
Calm
do.
down, Rick, you are- I can see what you
no,
mean.
but Foxy would have it
Well, you're
lined up.
Rick, you're going to have a heart attack.
Am I?
Live on air. I mean,
Yeah.
it'll be dramatic radio, and that's Sony Award winning. I know that. Any kind of. I seem to remember when Tony Blackburn had his breakdown on air. I think did he win awards for that? I mean, it was pretty impressive
Probably.
stuff. It was pretty intense.
Yeah, what breakdown award?
Have a breakdown. Yeah,
Excellent.
This year's best breakdown on radio.
Totally Blackburn.
Yeah, but
Or Tessa, marry me.
yeah, it was something like that, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Did he play the same song again and again and again? Must
Did
have been
he?
fascinating radio. That sounds like Capital Now.
Oh, it's that satire.
High five.
Is that nice
We've
one?
done there.
Oh, well done. Well done.
Are we owned by Capital?
You've
We are,
got,
aren't we?
yeah. Remember what happened last time?
Sure.
And now Richard Park, who owned Capital, he's the Grandmaster. What?
The Grandmaster?
He's a grandfather. No, he's a
Headmaster.
headmaster of Fame Academy.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Okay, let's play a record now, because you have to lie down, because you're just getting so worked up and now. I can tell when there's an excitement and enthusiasm and sweat, beads of sweat run down
Well,
your
it
brow.
started off so badly, we had nothing, but then I did a competition, gave away some things. You've got an email that really annoyed you, haven't you?
Well, we can talk about that later.
Yeah.
But yeah, whenever I see beads of sweat, I know, because that's not the
Jeez.
Ricky Gervais I know.
Okay.
It worries me. You never work yourself up into any kind of sweat.
Okay,
so you need to
let's
just
play
chill
it.
out, calm down.
We're going so well now, aren't we? What about a bit of Beck?
Let's have a lovely bit of Beck, just to chill everything out, just calm everything down.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, relax.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
there you are, you
Yeah.
see, he's gone.
Yeah. Yeah. Beck. Beautiful, that.
Good tune.
Brilliant.
Good tune. Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Lost Cause, XFM 104.9. It's going well, isn't it?
Oh, I'm loving it.
All right, let's do something else then. Adverts. or
Adverts,
something.
I'd love to hear some adverts.
Yeah.
Oh, please.
There it is. Life on Mars, with that great lyric by David Bowie.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Although, it's not quite as good as, what was the one, was it Jeff Lynne? The chances of anything coming from Mars are a million to one, and yet they come.
Yeah, and still they come.
And still they come, and
I wonder
still
what
they
you get.
come.
Would you get that at Ladbrokes?
I'd like to
A
see,
million to one.
But it's
Yeah.
a million to one, and still they come.
Yeah,
And still
yeah.
They, come.
They
Yeah,
didn't know the odds. They go, what are you doing? It's a million to one. It's what?
Some guy in
There's a
that-
million to one on you. We should have put that on. You didn't tell me you were
You should have
coming.
notified us. We could have split it 50-50.
We
I
could
could
have
have made
fiddled it a little
fortune.
bit. I could have gone, wow. I could have probably got them up to a million and a half.
Gorg, what were you
Now you're
thinking?
here. We're never going to get good odds.
Oh, Gorg, the chances of that.
Gorgie.
The chances of that happening were a million
What
to
have you
one.
come for? They've probably come for that.
Well, why didn't you
quash.
sneak in?
They've come for that quash drink, haven't they, again?
You could have snuck
Oh,
down.
what are
you
you
could have
doing?
let us know and flown back and then made another.
You know that fella? We come for that drink you call quash. I bet he'd get off with snork. Wouldn't he?
Possibly.
He'd meet it
Are
on
you
the
thinking
pitch.
of weird stuff again? You're thinking of crazy ideas again. What about those smash aliens? What about, you got something on there, have you? The
Yeah,
little-
you know, they went out, right, without an umbrella.
Oh,
Poured down.
it
they
rained.
got...
I knew it would. I knew it would.
Anyway.
Oh, anyway, David Bowie,
No,
beautiful.
this is spiralling. Can I just mention Lynn, who's just phoned because she was queuing up all night outside the Apollo for Bowie tickets, and she got a pair, so
Oh,
she's dead
well
happy.
done.
Can you
Excellent.
dedicate that to everyone who's queuing up? So
Yeah.
so
Best
do
of luck
that.
to them. Gee.
And I wanted to tell you about the time Bowie came into XFM to talk to Zoe Ball.
David came in, did he? Was this recently?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I remember. Yeah.
I'm not going to mention her name. She works in the office, Charlotte. When he walked by her desk, which you have to do when you come to the studio, she didn't actually meet him, shake his hands, or make eye contact, but she actually cried because he was in her vicinity.
Really?
And she actually burst into tears when he walked by. Isn't
Rick,
that? I
I've
love
made
that.
women do that. So, you know.
You've got something in common.
Well, a little something in common with David Bowie.
They whimper and weep when you're on. You know what I mean? It's sort of like...
There's a lot more screeching as well.
Yeah.
A lot of screaming.
Tell them about that email you just got.
this guy-
Right, I got to tell I nearly said the fans! People who happen to be listening to XFM waiting for the person after us. Who's on next?
Natasha's not with the football show.
Right, all right. Steve was genuinely annoyed. I laughed, right? Steve was genuinely annoyed. He doesn't like rudeness or people insulting him from a distance.
I'm not sure I can find it.
Oh, what was it? Oh, you got to find it.
Well, hang on, let me...
Oh, hang on.
This is good radio as well. The sound of a mouse clicking in the distance.
Well,
I'll just keep talking.
I'll
just keep talking.
You can come up with some magic.
What was Scooby-Doo on about? A talking dog? That's a bit weird, isn't it? And then, right, what was that? Wacky Races? I don't know. Wait a minute. So why did they run, the cavemen, if they... the car?
I've got it.
Right.
Okay. This is an email. This is an email that was sent through.
Right.
And this is my feeling. I think if you're going to email an insult, you've got to at least be clear what the insult is. You can't make me do the work. You can't make me try and guess or figure out.
No, it's like sending someone hate mail and they have to pay postage.
Yeah, exactly.
You go, well, if you're going to...
Exactly. Or making an obscene phone call, but collect.
The postman asks you 25p before he hands you a letter bomb.
Yeah.
Go on.
It says, Merchant. It opens with Merchant. Who are you, call sad, exclamation mark. At least my mother still don't cut my hair. Merchant. Who are you, call sad? At least my mother still don't cut my hair.
Is it an anagram?
I don't know. I feel like it's been translated from the French.
It's a Japanese fella who hates you.
Exactly.
And he's got a Japanese English dictionary. It's just literal. So, how does he know your mum cuts your hair then? You've never said that on there, have you?
It's not true, Gervais.
Can I just say, I think your hair looks really nice, Steve. I've known you for about 5 years now, and it's lovely.
I laughed at you needing someone to say it. It looks fine. Yeah, it looks good.
What do you mean it looks fine?
It does look good. It looks good. He's got a little bit of product on it, hasn't he?
Yeah, it has.
Maybe I have.
A little bit of hair gel.
Maybe Gavin had his fingers all over it yesterday. Yeah, I have my hair cut by Gavin of West Hampstead.
Is it called? Is what it's called, Gavin, or is it a bloke who works in?
It's a Gavin who works in the
Do
barber
you use
shop.
that fudge stuff?
Sorry, no. Seriously.
I use a form of clay, a moulding clay.
Yeah,
Gavin recommended it.
Yeah.
Gavin recommended it, and I've been very happy so far.
Hold on, though.
Rick, what do you use?
I don't.
Yeah.
Don't. I just sort of.
Well, that's obvious.
No, I just sort of like comb it back and whatever way it falls, really.
Yeah.
But
You had more questions about Gavin?
Yeah, no.
I was up seeing Gavin yesterday, just having a haircut. There's nothing untoward, and I thought I popped past Habitat. There's a Habitat, and it's quite a trendy kind of designer furniture shop or whatever.
Sure.
And I popped in there. I thought I'll pick up the sort of brochure, the catalogue. There was a big stack of the new
You
catalogue.
were stunned by the prices you're going to tell me, aren't you?
No, I'll tell you what. I was about walking out with the guy. Went, hey, where you going with the hair? It's a great looking haircut, but where are you going with that catalogue? I went, what do you mean? He went, it's £2. You've got to pay £2 for a catalogue from Habitat. And I said, well, I could go down to Argos. I can get as many as I want for free. I can go crazy in Argos. I can get them Littlewoods, the mail order people. They'll send it to my home.
Yeah.
I got to pay £2. There's lingerie in that one. You know, you've just got like some furniture and stuff. And I'm paying £2 from it. If there were some ladies draped over the kind of filing cabinets, I'd be interested. I'd pay £2.
Fact that you. No, what did you say? That you didn't say I can go down to Argos and get as many as I like. What did you say?
Yeah, I did. I said, well, what are you talking about? This is, why am I paying
But isn't it weird charging for a catalogue?
But this is a catalogue just to tell me what I might want to buy.
It's sort of their calling card. It's like paying for a poster or a sticker.
Exactly. It's almost like paying an entrance fee to go into the shop.
Yeah. That's a good idea.
It's a good idea.
Because it's good to just walk around and browse. So, I'd pay £1 to walk around a really good shop.
Yeah, but I'll tell you this, if Habitat maybe had some kind of, like, sort of centrefold...
Why don't you do this?
I'd be interested.
I'll tell you what, in a great shop like Habitat, you pay £1, right? If you buy anything, that comes off the thing. If you don't buy anything, you've paid £1, stop wasting their time.
It's an incentive to buy.
I wouldn't like it.
Sure.
I wouldn't go in there. I think it's a terrible idea.
Well, anyway, that's
what should we play?
That was a sideways look at the world of high street shops.
I think you should play the award-winning Ms. Dynamite.
Yeah,
go on. She's cracking.
Yeah. Ms. Dynamite. Good, that, isn't
It's cracking. Yeah, it's very good.
it? Yeah. Mercury Award winning.
Absolutely.
Well done.
Yeah, good luck to her. Good luck to her.
I must admit, I wanted The Streets, but
I love
The Streets.
she's a very good second choice, and wish you all the luck in the world.
All the luck in the world.
I'm looking at your hair.
It's not bad, is it?
And you have bigged it up, so you're quite. So I assume you didn't go to a barber. You've gone. This
This
actually
is a
proper-
hairdresser's. This is Gavin of West
Okay,
Hampton.
I'm going to ask you now,
Yeah.
right? And I'm not going to take the mickey, even if it's £100. I'd think you're a fool, and I know you wouldn't pay that much. But it's obviously more than the £5 then, isn't
Yes.
it? How much do you pay?
Ricky Gervais, for this haircut, I paid the princely sum, and I was proud of it, 22 notes. But
That's all right.
But I went up to 24 because I was pleased with what I had. Little tip for him.
£2 tip.
£2 tip. I could have just given him one of those Habitat catalogues. He'd have been pleased with that.
I love
Just
about
flap that on the desk.
Yeah, and he'd have gone, thanks very much. And you'd have had to go, I'm going to be honest, Gavin, that is not free.
Exactly.
If that had been an Argos catalogue, then throw me out of it. It would be an insult.
exactly.
Look at the price. Go £2. Yeah. That £2 is yours.
That's yours. You're taking that home.
Would you prefer the money? What should we do?
Yeah.
We're going to usually play a new one around this time. What new adverts have we got?
We've got plenty here.
Oh, come on, let's
Come on. Are you in any?
No.
Badly drawn boy. I imagine that's starting a British film. Do you know what I
Yes.
mean? They're jumping on a London bus and they're going around London.
Well, of course, the film about a boy, he did the soundtrack for. So if you were a little bit more up on films and stuff, you'd have already
Yeah.
known that idea's been done, and you wouldn't have embarrassed yourself, and there wouldn't be egg on all our faces.
Oh,
but
no.
thanks very much.
Sorry about that. I'm eating. I'm very messy, aren't I?
Yeah.
What have you got, Steve? What have you got for
Rick,
me?
I'm glad you've asked. Thanks for asking. This is a Stevie Wonder track. Now, I hope people aren't as offended by Stevie as they were by Pink.
I'm sure they won't be.
I mean, for goodness sake, he's one of 20th century's greatest artists.
Yeah.
This is from an album, not one of his more famous, Fulfillingness's first finale.
Yeah.
And this is a track called You Haven't Done Nothing. But Rick, here's a little quiz for you, a little pop quiz for you.
Oh.
There is a very famous backing vocal group here. I mean, they were famous in their own right, but here they're doing backing vocals. I'd like you to identify them. And there's an Office DVD winging its way to you, Ricky, if you can spot who it is. Let's hear it.
the pressure's on.
Oh, magnificent. Do you not enjoy
Brilliant.
that?
Excellent.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
Stevie Wonder, You Haven't Done Nothing from Fulfillingness's first finale. It's quite tricky, that, the backing vocals.
Well,
They're
I
not
never get
particularly
that.
prominent,
well,
are they?
And it could be anywhere. So I'll just go for someone that's a vocal group with, I don't know. Is it obvious or is
It's
it...
very obvious.
What, that it would be that they would back him?
It's not obvious that they would back him, but it's obvious that, they are huge stars, or they were huge stars.
And what is, was it, what, mid-70s? Early 70s?
Talking mid-70s. 1974 is the album. There's an Office DVD winging its way.
Not the Jackson 5 or
It's the
something like
Jackson
that.
5.
Is it really?
There they are. Well done.
Well, there you
There you
go.
are, yeah.
Well
I mean, that's how
done.
big Stevie was, that he could ask the Jackson 5 just to stroll in
There you go.
with some fairly
See?
nondescript backing vocals. stuff.
First album I ever got, Jackson 5.
Was it? Which one?
It was the one with Rockin' Robin on it.
Nice. Did you rock to that? I imagine you did.
I walked
Grooved around to that. How old were you? What were you talking? 18?
I was about, I suppose, I don't know, 11 or 12, and I had one of those little cassette players when you had to press down play and and it had a little handle that came out.
They're brilliant, yeah.
And I had one CD with it. And
Well, one tape.
One tape, yeah.
Sure. And you bought it yourself, did you? Or
No,
did
no,
you-
that was a Christmas present.
Lovely.
Yeah.
And that was the only one you had for I imagine a year or something. Just
Well,
that one tape,
yeah,
endlessly played.
until
What was your first record purchase?
It was
Sturgeon?
a Disco Fever compilation. Well, actually called Disco Fever, and I got it because I loved Yes
Wait a
Sir,
minute.
I Can
What, are you
Boogie.
embarrassed about having your mobile on or what?
Something's vibrating, and I'm assuming
Sorry.
it's a mobile.
Oh, so it's my boyfriend. Oh. I did turn the ringer off. Oh, sorry.
So what, is a Disco Fever compilation?
Yeah, featuring Baccarat, Yes Sir, I Can Boogie.
Cracking.
Yeah.
And Space Float On, I think, which is what I want. What I wanted.
Float On, that
yeah,
one?
that's one. Yeah,
That's the Floaters, isn't it?
The Floaters.
Yeah.
Always
Hi,
made me laugh.
Larry.
Yeah.
My name's...
I
yeah.
don't know.
Magic Fly by Space.
Oh, right.
Do you remember that
no,
one?
I don't.
No, yeah.
No.
I don't know if my first purchase is cool or not, really, because I suppose it seems like it was. It was the greatest hits of the Stranglers.
That is so
we're
cool.
talking
Are the Stranglers
different-
quite cool?
That's
Yeah.
scary because I finished school by the time that came out. I think that's scary. The Greatest of the Stranglers. No, I was
Well, I
never
think
a
that's more to
Stranglers
do with the
fan.
fact that my parents didn't have any records in the house. I think they had the Jeff Love Orchestra plays big war theme tunes. That's how they had
a
one
big-
of those Top of the Pops albums with a woman wearing a neckerchief on the cover.
Yeah.
and that was pretty much it. And the 1812 Overture, played
I
on
had
the
one of
fiddle or
those.
something.
I had one of those with Mozart's 40th on it because that was released at the time. The diddle-a, 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 diddle-a.
Oh, Oh, that wasn't obviously Mozart's 40th birthday. That'd have been a wild swing.
I'm not
If he'd
that
made it
old.
that far, that'd have been a wild.
That'd have
mate.
been great,
I'd love to hear
wouldn't
that on record.
How old was he when he died?
He was quite young, wasn't he?
I didn't live long that
18
time, did
or
I?
something. He was a genius.
No.
He was a boy wonder.
Yeah,
He was a wonder.
He
But
grew up.
a lot of people don't
It was like Alan Jones. It was all over by the time he was 11.
What a lot of people don't realise about Mozart was that he also, in his spare time, used to solve crimes. Yeah, that was why he was so. That was what musical crimes. He would often say
we've come
plagiarism
full
issues, things
circle
like that.
now,
We have
haven't we?
indeed. We've
Yeah,
brought that
yeah.
right back. We should.
Actually, I hate to interrupt you, boys,
Go on,
but we
so then
have
again.
got to squeeze one more song in
Got a
for.
wrap up, have we?
Yeah, break.
what should we do? What should we have?
What have we got there, Claire?
Well,
Have we
I've-
thought this through, really? I
I've got
didn't-
this one I want to play you. I want
What is
you
it?
to-
You wanna- what
by
is
the
it?
Electric Six.
It better be good, because if you end a show with it, I mean, we've had lots of faux pas
This
and really
is
bad
going to
bits.
be possibly the biggest song of 2003,
You think so?
Rick.
Go on then.
Man
Yeah.
alive.
Let's
so this is
go.
it. Thanks very much indeed, Claire, for coming
Cheers,
down.
thank you.
No, it's a
been
pleasure.
No, it really
Is
was
Karl
good
back
fun.
next week?
Yeah.
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 Oh, just he doesn't care, does he?
Can we just quickly say, so you're on Parkinson tonight then, Ricky? Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And the office starts, what is it, Monday?
This is easier, this, isn't it? And there's a DVD winging its way.
Hey!
I guess I do want one.
See you next week.